us three.
It's like when you're on set and you got to take a pee, you gotta go 10-1.
Oh.
And then like if you have to, go boop boop, you gotta say 10-2.
It might be a union thing. Or
Like, yo, I gotta go 10-2, so you don't have to go announce to everybody like I gotta take a shit.
See, like that's what I do when I'm on set because I'm just an actor, you know. I just go, I'm taking a piss now. Everybody wait for me. I get. Oh, right.
yourself, so you can take them off too if you want.
Yo! Yeah, boy! Yo!
Yeah, boy.
It does a pretty good job. You can scream or you can whisper.
So
I just didn't know if I was going to be disturbing anybody if I yelled.
That's your neighbor right now. Can you please be quiet?
Can you tell Flavor Flav to shut the hell up?
He has been texting me recently, like,
I know you told me.
shit. I'm just like, sorry, I'm 230 pounds. Like when I walk down the stairs.
Wait, really?
It might
Pure
make noise.
muscle.
Yeah. It's pretty intense. I don't know what to do. Like the other day, something had just fallen off my fridge. Like, like a box of cereal or something.
Yeah.
And as soon as it crashed and hit the ground, like bing. Immediately got a text and it was like,
oh, that's obnoxious.
She said, I don't know if I made you angry asking you to be quiet the last time, but you've gotten louder than before. I was like, what?
It's just my cereal.
Yeah, so I was like, something fell off the fridge. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like,
Just like any little thing.
yes. And it's like, even the opening and closing of the doors, like in my cabinets, because they have like those auto close things where like once you get to a certain amount of like,
Oh, right. They get the slow close, and then they just like...
Yeah, exactly. And that noise, like...
It's tricky.
So you just get texted
like
literally all the time
I
for
can't,
anything?
even if I close it to like the most, like to like the shortest distance until it's almost fully closed, and I let go, it'll still go boom. So like there's nothing I can fucking do about it.
Just gotta start tiptoeing around here.
Yeah, see, that's what I would do.
dude.
That's what I would be doing. I'd be so paranoid. I'd be just doing everything super quietly.
Turn into a tiptoe man.
Yeah, I'd be a total tiptoe,
I'm a
bro.
tiptoe man.
I used to walk on my tiptoes a lot growing up. I think it was because my house was like really cold.
Yeah.
Like Toe Biden.
Toe Biden.
Toe Biden.
I'm Joe
Yo,
Biden.
so
I forgot how to do that impression.
real quick.
I gotta
welcome-
shut the door. You introduce.
All right, welcome to the Dropcast, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have Ben Arms.
Yo!
Yo. It's episode 14.
Wow.
Something like that, I think. 14, right?
Was 13.
13, yep. You
guys have
are
come a
at
long
the
way.
14th.
Yeah. It's fun.
So, yeah, we got Ben here with us.
Woo!
We're talking about...
I just yelled the entire time.
Bendy arms, baby. Let's see
Yeah.
those arms bend a little bit.
Woo! a little bit of
that's
this.
what I'm talking
A little bit of
about.
this. A little bit of... There you go. He's in the back.
Whoa, I can see that. It was like you guys were one person. That was crazy. For the viewers, if you're just listening, you just missed some badass dances.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't really
We were
know.
practicing that.
You're going to have to go to YouTube to see that.
YouTube.com/Dropcast. Is that the URL?
I don't know what our actual YouTube URL is. Can
There
you
might
change
be
that, or
there
is
might
it
be
just
a
like a URL?
there might be a
like
period or
randomized?
two in there.
Oh, whatever.
Separating some stuff, getting around some
That's fair.
wiggles and some waggles.
The Wiggles.
Yeah, so Ben's a really cool guy, actor, filmmaker, hacker man extraordinaire. What do you do all the time, Ben?
What do I do all the time?
All the time.
Every time.
When you're not making videos, what do you do?
Oh, when I'm not making videos. Oh, damn. That's a short list, I feel like, honestly. I watch a lot of reality TV.
What's the hot new one that you've been on?
Let me think about that. What have I been watching?
90 Day Fiancé?
I have not watched 90 Day Fiancé. I watch a lot of, well, not recently. I guess I watched, what is it called? Love is Blind on Netflix.
Okay.
I was watching that a little bit. Been kind of like slow to finish that up, but it's a pretty good one. I usually like the summers because Love Island comes on.
There's a time.
I'm a big Love Island.
Is that... See, I'm not really well versed in the reality TV shows, but there was... Last summer, we were doing a show with Mersive, and we were all in the hotel room, and somehow one of these reality shows... It was just like a bunch of dudes all watching like Love is Blind or something like that. But it was one of these ones I thought it was really interesting, and I haven't seen it done before. It was shot live or like the next day or something, and you like got to vote yourself or like
Oh, yeah.
who's staying, who's going, but it was like live or like close to live to where it was like that.
Yeah, Love Island does a lot of that.
Is that
where
what
they'll
it might have been?
It might have been.
Is that the British one?
There's a bunch of different versions now. I think the British one is like the primary one that everyone knows, but they also do like Australia. They do one in America. I think it's going to be in its 4th season this summer.
They're all super, super attractive people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great because there's like 100 episodes a season. Because like
Oh
you
my
said, it's
God.
like it's so close to live. They literally must be like shooting this and putting it out because like every single season is like 50 to 70 episodes.
They're like, we're just gonna run it, no cuts, like.
Dude,
I
it's
don't know.
amazing.
I want to go on
It's-
set.
Points.
I want to
it's
go on
dope.
to set to one of those
Exactly,
reality
man.
shows.
See, like I feel like that's part of my fascination with reality shows is like I would love to know the behind the scenes
because
like,
it's so different
it's
than what
so
you're seeing.
different than what I'm used to doing, and like especially for like a show like Love Island, I'm fascinated with it because it's so obvious. There's like no camera crews. Like they literally just have
it's
like
just
a
a couple shoulder
million
mounts.
cameras.
Oh, like
Just like all over the
house.
house, all over the outside area,
Okay.
and they have like insane like telephoto lenses that can like really get in and like see these like really intimate
The
moments.
camera crew is the guy who just like changes out batteries if there's no AC cables or anything.
Is that
like
do you
Yeah,
do you know
pretty
that do you know that for sure? Like I'm saying, like I don't watch these, but do you know for sure that it's just like
It
cameras
must be. Well, I
placed?
can see the cameras in the house a lot of
Okay,
times. You don't
yeah.
really get a lot of visibility of them outside, but like sometimes they'll do like little scenes where they obviously like some producer will run out and be like, okay guys, we're gonna do a party scene, and then they'll be like floating around with a camera like filming them all being like woo, and it's obviously super staged.
That's
Yeah.
But
that's
like
where
the
I
rest of the time it's like
that's where I start to scratch my head. Where they're like, I don't know, like there's obvious beef or obvious drama starting in. Like, is there a producer that steps in and it's like you, Kelly, and you, Jim? Like, you guys got to stir it up a bit and like turn it up a notch.
I
and then,
think-
like
do
some
shit.
stuff.
They
I
do
think
stuff to
they
do that.
definitely
Yeah.
do stuff. I think they definitely will be like, okay, you guys come and sit out here and have a conversation, basically.
and then like tell the spouse that whoever he's talking to, like, yo,
How
he's
you really
he's
feel.
talking
Yeah,
to Kelly
yeah.
over there.
Go,
Like,
go, yeah, exactly. Like, go talk about your feelings about this. Like, yeah, Kelly was talking to, Joe Schmo or whatever. Like, go confront her about this,
Yeah.
and then they just
I
kind
heard
of
they're
like,
over on the Sunset Beach. Go intervene.
Do you guys remember the show Bar Rescue?
I never watched
Oh
Bar
yeah,
Rescue.
yeah.
But you know what I'm
There
talking
was
about.
a
I do know
bar.
what you're talking
There was a
about,
bar
yeah.
rescue in
Alley
Ann
Bar,
Arbor.
or not Alley
Yeah,
Bar.
yeah, I did do that.
It was the one.
It
on
was,
it's now Haymaker.
Haymaker.
Haymaker. Yeah.
They purposely. I know what the story you're about to tell.
My friend Kayla, she used to work there when Bar Rescue was happening, and she also worked at Red Rock when I worked there. And she was like, "Yeah, I quit the day that they did the Bar Rescue stuff because like I was having a bad day already, and like, the tables were low, like it was starting to fuck with my money." And then all of a sudden, like I'm trying to roll silverware, and some like PA comes in and just like takes all my forks. And then she was like, "What are you doing? Like I need to roll silverware for the night. Like we need silverware for people who are gonna eat." And they're like, "Yeah, I'm just doing what I'm just grabbing the forks. Like that's what they told me to come do." And then they just took the forks and then threw them in the trash. So then later in the episode, the Bar Rescue guys is like, "What are you doing? There's no forks. Like, what happened? What kind of restaurant is this if you guys don't have enough forks? Like, who did this? Management, come over here. What's up with the forks?" So like people are like trying to eat. They're like, "We don't have any forks right now. Like, I don't know where all of our forks went." So like the TV
so
show is just
crazy.
like, "Yeah, just go throw away all the forks. Let's create some drama." And
They're
she was
putting,
like,
like,
"Yeah," and then I
Vaseline.
just walked out because like I was just like, "I'm done. Like I
That
can't.
is out of control.
This is ridiculous. This is going on for like another 2 weeks. Like I can't afford this."
They're putting like Vaseline on the bottom of the trays and shit. Like,
Yeah, so you slide. Oh, should I drop it?
No.
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
if they're
but
that'd
throwing
be a
out
good one.
forks, they're like, "Yo, hit him with the fork trick. This place is too close. This place is run too tight."
We
Hit 'em
call
with
this
the forks.
we call this one the forklift.
yo, they survive.
the forklift.
Pull the forklift on him.
Yeah.
Johnny, go take the forks.
They survive.
Operation forklift commenced.
They survive the forks. Bring out the Vaseline.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. But I was watching Love Island one time and I was blown away because like there was this guy who just looked like this really attractive like TikTok star type of guy.
Yeah.
Right, and he was just like spoke with the most thick British accent, which was really difficult to understand. He was saying something along the lines of like, "Yo, I like this one, but the other one, she gave me the good reach around, pop my cock off." And I was just like, "Wait, what?" It's like, We were lying in bed. She hit me with the reach around, popped me cock. I was like, what? And he like did the motion, like he was like, best cock pop I've had. And I was like, what the fuck? She got jerked off in
and there's
bed
like 10-year-old
Love Island
little
when
kids
there's
watching
a bunch
this
of
shit.
cameras
Yeah,
around. They're like, yeah, we got that on camera, but we're not going to throw it in the show.
Yeah, they always do that like thing where they show it's like the black and white footage of them in
like the
bed.
night
They kind
vision.
of crop it
Yeah.
up or whatever, and they like
That's
show
so
something.
weird.
Yeah,
Do you
see,
think they're just rolling throughout, like, if people have
Dude,
intercourse?
I don't know. They must be. It's like, again, it's like I want to know. I want to know. Like, how do you do it? I've always just
Get
like
me there.
I have this fantasy of like being like an editor or something like that on a reality show or something like that because I just want to know how it all comes together. I want to see it because like I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Just bring me along to like bring your kid to work day or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like just one day, I just want to see
I'll be
how it
someone's kid.
happened. Sign me up, coach.
You could be somebody's kid with all the new facial like AI changes.
Yeah,
stuff
exactly,
That you're getting
yeah.
experienced in. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something
the
I've been...
weird deepfake stuff. Dude,
Yeah.
this has really been blowing my mind, man.
Yeah.
I've been having so much fun with
ours
this.
too. I think
What's his
everybody
name?
else
Ray
is too.
Ray Tomlinson.
Ray Tomlinson.
Yeah, the guy that invented email.
Yeah, you're boys with him apparently. I saw.
Yeah,
You
man,
got
I
him
know.
on camera and
Yeah, I
everything.
interviewed him. Yeah,
Yeah, that's nuts.
dude, it's
How'd you get a hold of him?
I mean, he's dead. He's been dead for like 8 years, I think.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I don't know. I Rick Cordero, a mutual friend of ours.
Shout out, Rick.
Shout out, Rick. He literally was like, sent me a video one day. He just texted me a video of him looking like a little kid. And he was like, look at this. And it was just like him looking at the camera, looking like a child. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? How'd you do this? And he was just like, oh, it's this app. It's called Ebsynth or EBSynth or whatever. And Face App. You guys heard about this stuff?
I know about FaceApp.
You know about Face App? And Face App's like crazy good at just like being able to like content aware fill your face to make you look like somebody else or whatever.
When I had my long hair, I like turned myself into that old cowboy with the Face App, and I was like, "Holy shit, I look just like my uncle and my grandpa." That's crazy.
It's weird, man. It's super weird because they have all these like plugins that's like, yeah, age me up super old or like make me super young or change my hair color or change my facial expression or whatever like that.
What is my picture in your phone?
Oh, it's a good one. Whenever here, give me a call real quick.
Is that a Face App thing?
Yeah. It's,
I didn't approve this, but it's me smiling with a fake smile that's not really my smile. But Trey's like, "You look so happy. I had to keep it."
Oh, yes. Yeah,
like-
I know what this original photo looks like too.
Let me see it.
Well, that's like all that
Oh no.
that's like all that you can do that stuff in like Photoshop with like the neural filters
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff
those are
like
getting
that.
crazy, too.
Those are getting super crazy. So like Face App, I mean, it's crazy that like I can do this and it's like I'm getting better at it. I feel like the Ray Tomlinson video was like literally my first attempt before I figured out how to like light it and shoot it in the right way so that way it looks a little bit more natural.
Yeah.
But essentially it's like, okay, let me just lay it out real quick. Okay, so EBSynth is a free app that you can get. It's in beta right now. And basically, I wish I had a good way of describing exactly what it does. Okay, so let's just say we have a clip of me and I'm looking in the camera and I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Toe Biden. Whatever, you know? And like, you take that clip, right?
Yeah.
All you got to do really is like export that entire clip as an image sequence, right?
oh, so what it does, it just breaks it up.
It breaks
into
it down by
Frames.
frames, yeah. So you pick one frame. All you need is one frame out of that. You want the frame with like the most facial information available. So like ideally eyes open, mouth open, because if you're talking, the app will be able to like see how the mouth moves better than if your mouth is closed and you try to open it, it won't know what is going to go in there.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
So you take that one keyframe basically, plug that into your Face App, change your face, do something to it, and then EBSynth or Ebsynth, I've heard it called different things.
I just tried
don't
to
know.
find it on the App Store. I couldn't find it.
It's you get on desktop.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like a little
Download.
yeah. And so basically all you got to do in EBSynth is like show it where the keyframe is that you changed, have it be the same exact title, like the file name as the keyframe in your image sequence that you exported from your video clip. plug in all of your frames from your video clip, and then you just basically like there's some settings you can change to like
blend
it or detail it a little bit more, and then you just run it. I mean, it takes forever. The hardest part about it is just like how long it takes to actually do it.
The render or
the
like
render,
the whole process?
The render is just the longest part, because it's just got to like sit there and chunk out each frame.
Everything, yeah.
And like sometimes it gets fucked up and you got to do it again.
Okay, yeah, because then if it gets fucked up, you're like, fuck, do I go back and redo it or do I just leave it?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're basically taking this like face-tuned, like manipulated face that you created in Facetune and applying it to that one single frame in that app, and then it recognizes that that's the new face that you're rocking and applies it to all of the other ones.
Exactly. And there's like have you guys ever heard of Joel Haver on YouTube or anything like that?
Can't say I have.
So like EB Synth is like, this is like a way that somebody's used is like do the face app thing and like change your face to deep fake yourself or whatever. Yeah. Joel Haver has this cool style of like making sketch videos where he literally like has his actors do a thing and then he literally takes the frames and just illustrates them, draws over them in Photoshop, makes them into cartoons. And then the same thing will happen in EB Synth. It'll just change the entire thing into a cartoon.
Wow.
So like I'll show you guys after this. I just did my first like cartoon deep fake, whatever you want to call it. Like it's, because EB Synth is not like,
it's like kind of like cell shader. It'll just like reanimate.
It's just like, I guess so. I don't know cell shader.
That's what they did that one movie.
Oh, like Scanner Darkly or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of deal. It pretty much looks like that ish, but it's like a little bit.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's hard to describe like what the effect is really. It looks like a cartoon, but it's like got so much more movement to it and more like realism. Like it doesn't look like it was hand drawn or anything like that.
Okay.
But that's
like
what
AI machine learning.
Exactly, dude. It's just
kind of scary.
Fucking crazy. I know. It's like literally like Face App. If you just buy it, it's $30. EB Synth is free.
Yeah. And I remember when Face App came out,
you can do anything.
Everybody was like, "Don't download Face App because it's from a Russian company and they're just gathering AI data and all that stuff."
I remember that too. Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't care."
Yeah, I don't care either.
What do I look like as an old man?
Yeah. What do I look like as an old man?
By the way, do you need a LaCroix or a water or anything? Are you good?
No, man. I got water over here. I'm cool. I'm
You
chilling.
can also pause at any time if you need to step out.
I might need a pee before this is over again.
Okay.
I have a tiny bladder.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that's all three.
Okay, but you're also
Tiny
a
bladder
huge Nick Cage fan, right?
Yeah, bro. Nick Cage is my favorite actor, man.
Yeah. Okay. I think I need to get more into Nick Cage because
You have to, bro.
when I grew
It's
up,
unreal.
dude, when I grew up, I was super into National Treasure because like that's how old I was when those movies were coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of my friends just ruined it for me. He was like, "I hate National Treasure," and I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Specifically Nick Cage."
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Because he overacts everything. Like he'll look at the camera and be like, I gotta go to the bathroom," and then everybody's like, "Whoa!" And then I thought to myself, I was like, "Oh my god, he's kind of right." And then ever since that, it just like tainted. So I have to like wipe that thought of the overacting of Nick Cage out of my brain and really dive into some new.
You see that new
Old
one that's coming
content.
out where he actually plays himself?
Yeah, I almost saw that. I was at South by and they premiered it there, and he was like
nice.
there and everything, but I didn't.
Wait,
end up
he was
going.
there?
He was there. Yeah,
What's South by?
South by Southwest.
You don't know that?
Oh, you never heard of it
movie?
before? Yeah, it's
No.
like a movie music tech festival in Austin.
Whoa! When did you go to that?
Oh, like what is it? I don't know what today is.
Today's
It's like
March.
2
Or
weeks
today's-
ago.
is it today's
Today's
April?
March.
Yeah, today's the last day of March.
Yeah. It was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was there, and he was premiering that movie there, and I saw some videos of him there, and he was wearing a really sick plaid suit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like what do they call those? Like those full body
kilt?
suits? No. there's a term you can Google and it'll just show you sick ass suits that are like
It looked dope.
off the wall. Justin wears a lot of them.
What were you doing out at South by Southwest?
Just hanging out.
Pleasure?
Just chilling, yeah.
Is it
You just wanted
a
to
job
go?
related thing or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I was just there, like, going to some, like, talks, some tech talks and everything like that, and I don't know. Just in general, I was kind of unimpressed with everything that I ended up seeing there, but I could have saw Nick Cage. That was my big thing about that. It was
Missed
okay,
opportunity.
it was cool. Yeah, I know.
You don't want to get too close to the sun though, so it might be a good thing that you didn't see
I've
it.
seen him before.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually saw him a couple years ago, right before COVID, I went to the Toronto International Film Festival on a whim because I knew he was going to be there. He was premiere.
That's the sole reason why you went?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
I literally like decided the week of, I'm like, oh shit, Nick Cage is going to be in Toronto premiering this new movie. This was The Color Out of Space, if you guys have ever seen that. Yeah.
Man, I'm behind on Nick Cage.
Well, so we can go back to the beginning leading up to the Toronto International Film Festival scene, but basically I haven't always been a huge Nick Cage fan. I kind of like you. I feel like I just had like seen National Treasure and some other stuff, and I'd mostly known him for the memes, right?
Yeah.
Like just kind of like being a crazy guy, and I'd seen all the compilations of him going nuts on YouTube or whatever.
I haven't even seen those.
Oh, they're hilarious.
I didn't even know that was a side of him.
Oh, they're so good. Hey, you haven't seen like Freak Out compilations?
Not a
Oh, you were really behind on your Nick Cage knowledge.
I kind of just like pushed it out, I guess.
Yeah. So I saw Mandy in 2018.
Great movie.
Great movie. And that was the thing that like light bulb moment, because I realized what Nick Cage does really. And it is essentially, it feels like just like overacting. I feel like he just really fucking commits hard to his decision making in roles.
Okay.
And that's what really like stuck out with me when seeing Mandy, is because I realized that like, I forget the director's name, Pantos,
From Mandy?
From Mandy, yeah. But I realized like, oh, Nick Cage, like he has this thing, this quality that he can deliver to a film that feels like out of control and feels like very like intense and overdoing it a lot. But it's like, that's what makes it entertaining, and that's what makes you want to watch it. And I feel like he sometimes throughout his career has worked with directors that have understood that about him. So it's like, I feel like it needs a good pairing.
Yeah.
Like Nick Cage always delivers I've always said this, Nick Cage always delivers a great performance in a movie, but not all of his movies are great. Because like he's not always working with the right person that can let him do the thing that he does his best.
In Mandy, was it Panos
Cosmatos, yeah, that guy. Yeah, so he knew, he must have seen it in Nick to cast him in this movie. He was like, this is the guy, I got to let him do his thing. And he does his fucking thing in that movie.
Is he
just
well contained? Like,
no.
But like he still delivers.
Yeah, but that's when I think Nick Cage is at his best, is when he's not well contained.
Okay.
That's what I like about it. I like when he's not contained at all. That's what makes it interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And so after I saw Mandy, I was like, oh my God, I've unintentionally taken a crash course in the Nick Cage school of acting, because like that's how I like to be on camera.
I was gonna say, how do you think Nick Cage compares to like your acting style, or like how you see Nick Cage as an actor yourself?
I mean, I'd never thought of my acting style as anything before. Like I'd never given it any thought. And then when I saw Nick Cage and I started listening to him talk about acting, I was like, oh my God, this resonates with me so much. Like just being able to like it's less about being like a method actor or like committing to a role. It's more about expressing what the audience needs to know about what's happening to the character.
Ooh.
And that's what he does to tell the story. And that's why like the overacting seems like so crazy. It's like he's just delivering it in the most intense, like the most visceral way that the audience should understand his character and what's going on in the story.
The emotion is being conveyed through him specifically.
Yeah, he is just a conduit for the feelings that you need to feel in the movie.
Yeah.
You got to really play your cards right to cast him, and because you got to just like let him take the reins. You know, he's got to be. It has to be that specific role. I feel like to make it hit harder.
It's true, yeah. I think so.
Like Mandy.
Is there a specific danger in that though?
Probably.
It's trust trust in the cage, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that, saying all that, it's like, yeah, Nick Cage is a very like niche performer to have in something. Like I feel like that's why it worked so well in Mandy, is because like there was a certain thing that needed to be achieved in that movie that he brought to the table, and he's brought to like so many other movies. So like after I saw Mandy, I went on a quest to watch every Nick Cage movie.
Did you do it?
No, there's so many.
I was going to say, how many is that?
I just keep backtracking now, because like he puts out like 5 movies a year, so it's just like a never-ending. Like I'll never be able to chase it. I'm always chasing the dragon, trying to find that
Nick
next
Cage
hit.
dragon. You're gonna finish all of his movies one day, and then you're gonna see him at the next festival, and you're gonna be like, Nick, I need more. You need to give me more. You just teased me.
That's what I thought was so brilliant about him doing this movie parodying himself, like The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I'm just like,
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah,
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
Yes.
And it's about him?
Yeah,
he's like
and,
playing
that
like
whole-
a fictional version of
awesome.
himself. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. But
That
I was
just
like,
says a lot.
when I saw that trailer, I was just like, wow, somebody else gets it. Like, I feel like there is just like a small group of people that like get it.
You
that
gotta
like
find
get
that,
what
that
Nick Cage
Discord or
brings.
that Telegram.
Yeah, exactly.
of
There
Nick-
are
Nick
like
Cage users.
yeah, Nick Cage fanatics.
Yeah.
I've seen them. I've like seen them on the internet. People who are just obsessed with Nick Cage. And I think we're sitting here with one right now.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I am. I definitely appreciate what he does because
You
it's
just,
like you don't really think about like acting. Like you think about acting, it feels like such a broad, general thing. Like anybody is like an actor that's on like camera or whatever. Timothy Chalamet is an actor, you know, and he's like hot young stuff, you know. But like Nick Cage has like a very specific, you know, thing that he brings to it. You know, he's got
nice aged whiskey or something.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Like
look
a
at it. Yeah,
Matthew
he's,
McConaughey.
You gotta have the right palate.
yeah, Matthew McConaughey too. I mean, I think it's different with actors because like a look and a style and a personality are like going to be very specific things to fit a role in something. So
Well,
this
This
is
is what we were talking about
yeah.
on the last podcast.
How like actors are kind of forming more into like your own personal brand, and like movies are kind of going for like you know, like that Jason
Influencer
when you-
versus actor.
like Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
They're hiring Jason Momoa for Jason Momoa, not like for his
The Rock.
acting.
Not
you
for
know,
his
The Rock,
range.
exactly. Same sort of shit.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, kind of where acting is going nowadays when it comes to social media influencing it? Like The Rock, Jason Momoa, people like Kevin Hart. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're all great, and they've fallen into their talented roles very well. But you wouldn't hire them for somebody that you need like range, where you know, like you still might have Leo or somebody else that can do better at that. I mean, obviously because they're better, but in my opinion. But you like, what do you think about that?
Oh, that's
thought?
interesting. I haven't really given that much thought. I mean, I think I get like just as excited as probably anybody else when I see like somebody I really like being in a movie. You know, like I love a good action movie. So like if The Rock's gonna be an action movie, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Like The Rock's gonna deliver. You know. So I don't know. I mean, like that's a tough question because I mean I feel like it's been going on for longer than just like now. I think like with social media and everything, I guess it kind of heightens it because it's like you have the personality of somebody online and then you have them in a movie. Like, you know, they got 100 million followers on Instagram or something, and then it's like, all right, we got cast in the movie. They're super popular, you know. I was just thinking about Ben Stiller a couple weeks ago.
Dude.
Ben Stiller like is
He's
so
Ghost.
good. The what?
He's like a ghost now, right? What has he been?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was thinking about him. Like, where's Ben Stiller been at? But like he fits a very specific niche too of like being like a very uncomfortable guy. You know, like I feel like every movie he's just kind of like awkwardly like being like emasculated or like something like that, you know, like but
Well,
like, that's what you
He's the underdog.
yeah, exactly. He's like the underdog character, you know. So I mean, like I feel like if Ben Stiller was like, yeah, I don't know, like Timothy Chalamet. I keep thinking about him because he's like the most popular like actor right now, like young actor right now or whatever. But it's like I don't know what Timothy Chalamet's like specialty is really, other than just he's good at acting.
Looking good and acting
Yeah,
good.
looking good and looking really young and being an actor, I guess.
On that Ben Stiller note, though, but like just what he brought to the table during the time, and like what Adam Sandler was doing during the time, at the same time too, with like their like hub of actors that they work with, I just thought was like is really cool that you don't really see today. Like how in all the Adam Sandler movies you have your same sort of cast. Granted, they're not the exact same, but like you always see those familiar faces, whether it be the I don't know even by name, but
Your merry crew of
Exactly, yeah,
Will
but I mean-
Ferrell and all those
hitting,
guys,
hitting everybody up. Let's make another one.
well, like I mean, in 50 First Dates to Big Daddy to Anger Management, like you see all those same characters. I mean, and then same with Ben Stiller with like all of the
Owen Wilson, Vince
Owen Wil-
Vaughn,
exactly
all
that
those
whole
guys,
that
yeah.
whole crew. So like I think that's just really cool how they like had their. I guess I never really like thought of those two in the same realm, but they were in the same upbringing, but like in two different hubs, but doing comedy as well. So it was really cool.
That is interesting because, like, I think you could definitely see that same parallel now in like action movies. I mean, it's like Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black.
Okay.
They seem
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
always in like a comedy action movie together. You know, that's like the new thing. You got like a band of people. It's like
Yeah.
they're gonna sell tickets or they're gonna, you know.
My buddy Nick just recently and not just recently, he's been saying this a lot lately about how he doesn't like Michael Bay. And I'm like, dude, I love Michael Bay.
Yeah,
Like,
I love Michael Bay
yeah,
too.
it's Michael Bay, but he's like, yeah, but like, you know, it's all cheesy action. I'm like, yeah, well, what the fuck? Do you go to what are you going to Michael Bay for? Like, do you go to him looking for like a mystery drama or something?
Right.
Like, no, it's not the case. Like, you have to know what people are going to give you and take it as like what they're actually, you know, what their niche is.
Michael Bay and Six Underground. That's Michael Bay, isn't it? Or is that
I don't know that movie.
with
600.
Ryan Reynolds? Just came out recently. I think it was on,
That's a new one.
it's pretty sick. You should check it out. I'm pretty
Michael Bay did that.
I don't know. Let me
Yeah,
confirm
we should find
real
out.
quick.
Either way, I know I'm excited for Ambulance with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, you're excited for that one? I'm not. I saw that.
You're not excited for that?
Well, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of constraints. Like, you're in an ambulance.
Where's this gonna go?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
To the hospital?
We took a left, and then like in the preview, it's like, oh no, there's something in front of us.
We gotta
And
take
then
a
we're-
right.
No, we gotta take a right. It's like, are we jumping it or are we turning? And then there's like a guy in the back who's just like, keep shooting. You know, like, how far can this go? And then like, how many flashbacks is there gonna be? How much story arc is there gonna be? You know, like,
Yeah.
I get it. But like, I mean, I guess I'm open-minded to it.
Who is this? I'm not familiar with this. Is this
Ambulance?
Michael Bay?
Yeah, it's Michael
Oh,
Bay.
is
Jake
it? Okay.
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
There's a
Oh,
black
okay.
guy in it too. He's like the side. It's like Jake Gyllenhaal and this other guy.
I don't know. I only remember Jake Gyllenhaal.
They're pushing it a lot though.
They are. Well, again, going back to Rick. Rick's always just like thinking outside of the box with all these things. Like,
A lot
he
of
put me
respect
on
to
the-
Rick. He's got so
Yeah,
so
Rick.
much.
Shout out to Rick.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna watch this, but love you, Rick.
If you've gotten this far,
But
shout, shout.
he was like basically like he kind of pitched me on Ambulance because like there's so many they got so many like FPV drone guys to like
Oh hell yeah!
do the
dope.
movie. So they're like flying in through the car and doing all these
Whoa.
crazy stuff, you know. So I was just like, wow, because he's been really on like an FPV kick recently.
Rick has?
Yeah.
Is he flying?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We just shot a little something the other
saw
week
that.
in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of is he rocking? Like the DJI FPV setup, or
No,
he's
it's-
building his own?
No, he ordered something.
Like
I might forget.
Pre-built
I
kits?
might be saying it. That's the wrong thing, but I think it's Skydio.
Sure.
Sounds like
there's a
an-
bunch.
I don't know.
There's a
It
bunch
sounds-
of
I really
FPV
don't know. I
Sounds
don't
companies.
like
know
it checks
anything
out.
about that stuff.
Did you
but
listen to? Maybe not, but we did a podcast with Andreas.
I saw you did that. I didn't watch it. No,
Yeah,
he's big FPV.
Talks.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah, I
time.
see
Have you tried FPV or like even in the simulators or anything?
Yeah, I did. The only time I did anything that would be close to considered FPV was I did an Iron Man simulator. Almost
okay.
like
What, you were just flying around?
almost like 10 years ago, like super early, like VR, some kids like hacked together an Iron Man simulator, and I was like in it, and I had to hold my arms out and like fly around New York City with like jets on or whatever, and that freaked me out.
I was about to say you didn't throw up. Or
I didn't
anything?
throw up, and it wasn't like moving around a lot, you know, it was like really steady, but like at one point it just like it got jacked up and I couldn't turn away from a building, and I'm heading right into a building, and I'm just like, no, I couldn't like see myself like looking
Take the
so,
FPV goggles off. No!
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so like FPV, you've flown like DJI drones
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
before. Like I've talked about this before, but like the whole different appreciation for FPV pilots and what have you, because I've tried it on the simulator with like the actual controller to where it's like pretty much the real thing without just going out and destroying a drone.
Mm-hmm.
But like the movements and like the joystick controls that you have to do is like night and day difference from DJI. Like no throttle or like nothing on it is you're falling out of the sky. So like the pitch and yaw and all that stuff, like you can get lost in it so quick to where it's like insanely difficult. Like I've spent probably a couple hours in the simulator, and like I'm nowhere near confident on like picking up a real one and like going off and flying it. And like I can fly a DJI drone no problem. So it's insane. Like when you see those videos of people like swooping down
that
on like
shit's
the nice
crazy.
cars and
That's
all that,
crazy.
like it's scary.
I can't do it. I just get dizzy.
Yeah, I feel like that would be my biggest issue is I hate roller coasters. So I feel like I wouldn't like doing that, honestly. So
Yeah.
I'd rather just be like somebody getting chased by the drone or something like that. I can just be in the actual thing. I'll be Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fly a FPV drone
could
around
be
me.
the
and
next Jake
fly.
Gyllenhaal.
So Six Underground is by Michael Bay. By
Oh,
the
okay.
way. You should check that one out if you want to see some booms and some bams.
I do love
it's
it.
pretty sick. There's some really intense stuff in there. But Ryan Reynolds is in that.
I love Ryan Reynolds.
He's been an interesting. He's like the same.
He's another guy where like
he's
they just hire him
Deadpool
for like
in
Ryan
every.
Reynolds, you know?
Yeah, he's
Dude, this
Deadpool in
guy-
every character.
Which I don't know if I dig.
I
don't know.
You don't know
he's
if you dig?
entertaining. He's entertaining to the fullest.
I just
but
love
he
his.
is the same
I
character.
love. He's totally the same character. But
That's
like,
what I'm talking
I
about.
love his whole like. It just seems like Deadpool happened, and all of a sudden Ryan Reynolds is like the most poppin' fucking. Like I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah,
was like
huge.
always doing like pretty decent movies. He was kind of like that Ryan Reynolds guy, just kind of silly, like, hey, what's up, I'm Ryan Reynolds, you know. But like then all of a sudden he like did Deadpool, and it was just like
There's your
every
character.
movie Ryan Reynolds came out with since then has been like the biggest
banger.
fucking movie ever. And I'm like, how did this guy rebrand himself so intensely like that? Like he is like a full throttle like action movie like mega super Hollywood blockbuster guy now.
I
Did you
think
guys see
Deadpool? No, you go.
I was gonna say, did you see Adam Project by chance? The newest one that he's in.
No, I didn't.
Gotcha. That one's actually pretty cool. You guys should check it out if you haven't. But the kid in that movie, just a quick fun fact. The kid in that movie who they cast, he's like the lead besides Ryan Reynolds. He got the role. It's his first ever acting role. He got the role because he can recite every single line in Deadpool 2.
What? Really?
Like sitting there, just recite the whole thing.
That's how he got that gig?
Yeah. There's videos online.
like,
You
"You
can
guys-
check it out.
Don't look at my headshots. Don't look at my audition tape. Check this out. Press play. I hope you guys got a couple hours. And then he just rips to it, and the casting directors are just like, wait, let's hear him out.
Dude, he's like
This guy's
11,
gotta
12
be-
years old, and just the whole thing, like
That is wild.
raunchy stuff and all.
Wow, that is a fun fact.
I think, I don't know. I think Ryan Reynolds just gave everybody what they wanted when it came to like Deadpool. You know, everybody loves action movies with Spider-Man, but you know, everybody loves Superman and all that stuff. But like, you don't get to see somebody get like their skull crushed or like get shot in the face or something. And like
In
all
a
the
comedic manner.
yeah, and
too.
all the
Yeah.
adults are just like watching Spider-Man and they're like, oh, they should have killed that guy. But you
Yeah,
know what?
yeah.
Little Jimmy over here, he doesn't need to see that. And then Deadpool came out, and then it was just like, all right, this is exactly what we need.
Yeah, it
so
was
all the
pretty
adults can
game-changing in
kinda,
that.
you know, get off on their gore fix while also living in their superhero fantasy.
Yeah, it's true. It was pretty. I mean, that was a huge fucking movie when that came out. That was wild. I
And
love
they're like-
Deadpool.
They're like, he's the anti-hero, and it's like, I think he's just a realistic superhero. If there were superheroes around, there'd probably be a lot more blood on the streets.
Yeah,
And
it's like what Will Smith wished he could have done in Hancock.
I didn't see Hancock.
It's kind of the same type of vibe. He's like anti-hero,
Yeah.
superhero, but he's like he's like a drunk mess or whatever his deal was. He was just kind of like,
I mean, not to mention,
That's what
but
I
I just want to
see,
bring
Will
up
Smith.
all of the destruction and city costs that all the Marvel towns must go through. Each and every
it's a
fucking
huge,
movie.
It's a huge racket with the mafia. It's
the
like all the union workers.
the taxpayers
paid
and
so
stuff
much
of the
money.
Marvel universe must be just thrilled, floored.
It's a conspiracy.
Well, they destroy the fucking cities in every movie.
And then the union workers have to come in and rebuild the whole city every single time in that universe. So I guarantee you there's definitely some sort of kickbacks going on to like Captain America. It's like, oops, just destroyed that skyscraper. Gets a kickback from the
You got to think
union
about the people on the ground level here.
to build.
right?
rebuild
Okay, I'm with you now.
You hearing me? You're picking up. You're picking up what we're putting down.
Yeah, man, fuck Captain America.
Fuck Captain America.
Fuck him, he's getting those kickbacks.
Honestly, those movies do kind of suck.
I'm not a big fan. Of
I gave
Marvel.
up on the Marvel movies.
I don't-
Yeah, I
I
gave
don't-
up on it.
The formulaic action.
Shang-Chi
movie
was
has
sick.
Never got.
Shang-Chi's VFX was dope. I watched the new ones for that factor. You know?
Yeah,
It's-
I can see that.
They're
That would
they're
be cool.
they're getting insane with like what they're doing in that. Just Shang-Chi specifically, they took it to another level.
Yeah,
I think
heard-
it just won a Grammy or Oscar actually too for best VFX.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So that was a fun whole ordeal too. I watched that
didn't
shit
see it.
live.
Oh,
Yeah.
you saw that live?
Yeah, I didn't. I was
so
like, what
funny.
the fuck?
What are you talking about?
Will Smith and Chris Rock shit with him getting slapped.
Oh, I saw that live too.
I was like, you just haven't seen anything. You're like, whoa, what's
No,
What
I
happened
was
with Will Smith?
Shang-Chi, but I didn't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
no,
yeah, yeah,
we,
yeah, yeah.
we jumped to the
Oh, okay.
Oscars. Yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah, we're
was-
jumping around, man.
I was I was watching it at my friend's house, and they were casting it off of their phone from like a streaming app. So when it happened, we all thought that it was just like a glitch in the stream.
Yeah.
And I was looking, and I was like, they're like, oh, that was a funny skit. Ha, ha, ha. And I was like, I mean, like
Awkward.
the audio's cut out, and they're yelling at each other. Like I'm pretty sure, like that, like there's something going on. This is kind of how live broadcasts work, you know. And they're like, no, dude, the glitch in the stream. And I was like, I kind of know a little bit about camera streaming, like live stuff, and I think that was a real thing that happened. And then they're like, no, you know, we move on, we start watching a movie. 20 minutes later, I go to the bathroom and I start scrolling, and I was like, holy shit, it was real.
Dude, that was crazy. I remember like the first video that I saw of it, it was like glitched out. Like the initial like video that came out online was like there was all like the audio cut out and everything like that. And then
they got the first one from like Japan.
Yeah, they got the first Japan one, and then they cleaned it up and figured out how to get just the regular version, you know?
Yeah, jeez.
That was so out of control.
Ridiculous.
That was out of control, man.
I had to mint a NFT.
I saw that.
Immediately. You just did immediately. I was like, did you buy this or did you make this, Trey?
NFT Twitter was kind of blowing up over it. So.
They were like, oh, get all
it's
the
still for sale.
opportunity.
It's still for sale.
Someone's going to pick that up, man.
So what are your guys' honest thoughts about this? Do we want to go into that or no?
I mean,
want to
all,
break that
all
down?
parties are at fault, and all parties, it sucks for all parties, basically.
Yeah.
I think
it
mean,
sucks for
comedy is
everybody.
comedy. You poke fun at poke fun, but like the medical conditions that his wife is going through obviously is not cool. You have to stand up for women.
Yeah,
XYZ.
It's true.
and
I just
all
feel
of
like
that,
you don't have to
but-
go on stage and slap somebody.
Exactly.
On the
That's the
Oscars.
also like that's
It just
you-
seems like
I think
it just makes you look bad.
when you're at that level, you're setting an example for the whole world, especially on live TV like that. That's totally uncalled for, and for the Oscars to not even do anything about it.
Well, they tried to.
XYZ.
Did you see that
They tried to kick him out.
and he wouldn't go?
Oh, really? I did not know that.
I think I just saw that like last night or something like that. Yeah, they like asked him to leave.
And then he goes up and wins an Oscar.
And then he
cries.
wins an like baller move though. Honestly,
Yeah, for
like,
real. And
here's
then
my Oscar.
Jaden Smith tweets, he's like, that's how it's fucking done.
I don't get that at all.
Okay,
Shut up,
Jaden.
Jaden
Yeah,
Smith.
okay.
No one cares
He
what
was
you have
like,
to say.
he's like, we're on top again, baby. But
Yeah,
no,
but except go ahead.
I just so like I don't know. You know, I think that there is this thing with Hollywood culture, celebrity culture, political culture, and just like there's the people who are not pedestrians and normal civilians like we are, and usually depending on how our biases feel, they can do whatever they want depending on whoever's bias is more popular. So it's like with you know, like accountability slowly falls away if there's a narrative of acceptance from everybody else depending on what your bias is directed toward. Where it's like I feel like a lot of celebrities get away with stuff like that, and I think it's like kind of goes back in principle to like the whole entire Alec Baldwin situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's like some devastating stuff can happen, but I really like Alec Baldwin. I can humanize him. I can do this. I can do that. Like there's so many things. That's not me, but like a lot of people can say and do whatever they want, and then because of like their thoughts and feelings on it, or because the person has been humanized, because they've been put in a spotlight, because they had the opportunity, because they're rich and are in Hollywood, then everybody just kind of brushes it under the rug. And I'm not saying that's specifically happening with Alec Baldwin because that's still unresolved. But, you know, with like, you know, with exactly what happened with Will Smith, where it's like, yeah, there's the alopecia, there's the racial implications, there's a lot of stuff, but, you know, that's all just biases, and you did go up on stage and just assault somebody, and like, yeah, Chris Rock didn't press charges, but like, where does accountability begin to slide because of people's opinions?
Yes, he did assault him on stage and stuff, but also it's hard for us to, I guess, put ourselves in that kind of perspective, being that much of an A-list celebrity, because your whole life is under a microscope. Like, you could have all this stuff going on. Granted, that's no excuse whatsoever to go up on stage at the Oscars and smack someone, but like, I think it's really hard for the general public to put yourselves in in shoes like someone of the caliber of like Will Smith, you know, because it's like they're living completely different lives. Like that's
they're completely detached from reality of what the world is today.
Yeah, I mean it's just night and day compared to what we're experiencing. So like I think it's really hard to even realize what an individual might be going through at that level, you know,
like-
because it's like every single move you do, every single thing you post on the internet is getting dissected to the fullest. Like that probably fucks with your head to the beyond belief.
Jack Virag, he said something the other day in the group chat about it. He was like, God forbid, like the whole entire world could see me and my girlfriend's relationships. I haven't done the dishes in the past like fucking 3 weeks. Like I would be completely destroyed. Like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like you give somebody a little bit of ammo, the world is going to run with it.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking like after it happened, I was like, you know, like scrolling through Twitter and like seeing everybody's like hot takes about it and everybody like, you know, again, like you guys were saying, like just super dissecting it. And it's like, oh, famous drama, it's happening. He slapped him, the alopecia joke and
Celebrity
everything.
culture.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, like if something like this happened in like the 90s, everyone would just be like, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. That's so fucked up.
Yeah, of course.
But
now you have the opportunity to hear
you have the
everybody
opportunity
else's
to have like
opinions
the
on it.
context of everything around it, like Will Smith and Jada's whole putting everything out on Facebook and her show and everything, and Will Smith being like this big like joke to everybody and everything, and it's just like, well, Will Smith, he's just tired of taking all the abuse and he's gonna, you know, just that was the last straw or whatever, you know. It's just like, I'm like, man, it's exhausting to have to like think about all like to have all that information in your head when like one little thing happens basically, you know. It's just like one quick incident and it's like,
let's all write some research papers
exactly
on
like
it.
the discourse is just like so vast about like all of the context behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, like I just can't look at this stuff anymore. It's just exhausting. Like I'm just like a random guy. Like I just thought that shit was funny as fuck, honestly. I was just like, that is hilarious that Will Smith went up and slapped Chris Rock.
I wish there were like
so good.
internet filters, you know. So it's like,
Yeah.
because when that happened, you know, 12 hours later, I stopped giving a shit about it. And
Yeah.
it was also just like, you know, a lot of people are still running with it, and I just wish I could press a button on my phone that would be like, anything Will Smith related, just don't show it to me. You know what I mean? But
Well, I mean, and that's the whole point that he's making is like everyone has the opinion, and like it gets burnt out so quick of this particular scenario, whatever that scenario may be, because you're seeing 50 million people post about it, like, and that's all that's filling your feed. So immediately you're gonna be like, oh, fuck this, like,
it's like, oh, blank down the street, what do they think about it? I haven't talked to them in 5 years, but I'm so curious what their thoughts
They're
are.
gonna have a hot take about this. It's gonna be sick.
Right. Do you guys mind if I pause this real quick? I gotta blow my nose and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
tissue break.
Tissue break.
Tissue
You need to go
break.
pee-pee?
Huh?
You need to go pee-pee?
I probably will need to, yeah.
Okay.
In 5 seconds.
We'll be back in just a second.
Joe Rogan at the end. That's so funny. Oh my
What
god.
are you guys laughing at?
That's so funny.
That thing I sent you this morning.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good.
The different universe.
They do that.
Where he gets
That is so
the
funny.
parallel universe where Chris Rock dodges it. Psych! Not today,
That
bitch!
is so funny. That's so good.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back from taking a big piss.
Bing bong.
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah. Dude, nobody else gets those terms.
I love you,
The only
1,000.
person who's talked to me about 10-1 and 10-2s is Jack. And then I'm on set and I say it to people and they're like, what? It's like, does nobody know what that means?
With us,
It's like when you're on set and you got to take a pee, you gotta go 10-1.
Oh.
And then like if you have to, you know, go boop, boop, you got to say
It
10-2.
might be a union thing. Or like, something.
Like, yo, I got to go 10-2, so you don't have to go announce to everybody, like, I got to take a shit.
See, like, that's what I do when I'm on set. Because I'm just an actor, you know? I just go, I'm taking a piss now. Everybody wait for me.
That's what we want to talk about more of. So so we didn't really announce it at the beginning of the show because we just kind of got right into it. But Ben is an actor, and I first saw Ben at WCC in Dan Keir's class when he showed me Milk Boy. And I thought it was hands down like one of the greatest things I'd ever seen in my life. And the best part about it is there are people that are in that movie that you don't even recognize anymore. Like Garrett, he makes a quick flash in it.
quick appearance
And
in
you got
there.
to pause it at the right time and you see it and you're like, whoa, that is Garrett. That is back in the day. And then I ran into, and like ever since that happened, I was like, I showed it to all the people that were in my house. And they're, you know, like this is in my early 20s. So sometimes they would come back from the bar and they'd be a little drunk. and they'd be running around the house going, "You're milkless! You're milkless!" I'd be like, "Yeah, like I'm setting a trend." And it came from you. And then I remember running into you and Brad Tennant, and there was another guy who now lives in L.A., the redhead guy.
Yeah.
Adam, is that his name? I don't know if he was there, but it was 10 Penny Productions, and I ran into you guys, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I know you guys. What's up? My name's John. I love your stuff.
I remember that.
Here's my phone number. Let me know if you need help with any
that
filming."
moment, yeah.
And you guys were like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But that was fun. And then ever since then, I've been able to see you evolve out of, just kind of the student realm of filming and of acting, and take on some more intense roles, and also do a lot of your own writing too, with your YouTube channel, which is just like hilarious. And if anybody hasn't seen it, they need to go check it out. So
Thank you.
Amazing tutorials.
Yeah, and they're all like
everything.
And the thing about it too is like when people create content, they kind of create content for like what people want to see, like.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
No, hell no. No, yeah, you write your own shit. You do your own thing. Like, that's what I was about to get at. You're like, will 3 laptops fit in this pocket?
Yeah.
Holy
The world's largest
shit.
fanny pack.
Yeah, the world's largest fanny pack. It fits 3 laptops. Like, who just comes up with that and then executes it in such a beautiful manner that you did?
Wow, thank you.
It's truly an art in itself.
It is an art in itself.
Thank
And
you.
like it even goes beyond that with like the Color Spike review. Fucking gold. And there's some more. Robot, key him out. Like,
Oh yeah.
The first
green
time I
screen.
ever saw that, I literally could not stop laughing. I was
Yeah,
like,
that
who
was a
comes
fun
up
one.
with this shit?
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk to us about that.
What do you want to know? Just like
Just give us a whole entire creative process on not only like, and I'm going to go as vague as possible
Okay.
here, and you can kind of just like jump on whatever you want to jump on.
okay.
Your creative process when it comes to like where these concepts even start. Like maybe you're at the grocery store and you get some thought and you're like, "Oh, I gotta write that down." I don't know what your process is there, or even when you're on set and somebody is like, "This is you've been cast for a role," and like it's that day on set. Like, how do you get into the space of like acting? Like, there's a bunch of questions I just asked.
Okay,
so you
okay.
can just kind of
Yeah, I mean, like it's it's not anything like super special or anything like that.
But
I mean,
it's
like
you.
I think it's unique because it is just like coming from my head or whatever. But I mean, like I get ideas from like everything. Like a lot of times it's just like watching stuff like commercials or like a scene in a movie will just like trigger me into like alternate version of like whatever that scene outcome would be, and then I'll like write something from that or whatever. And I for my YouTube channel I usually don't like write like scripts. I'll write like rough outlines, or like it's a lot of times it's like, oh, I just think of a funny way to say something that's like funny to me.
It's like a shower thought. That
It's
you
like
just,
a shower thought, yeah.
Execute.
like goatism. Like, how did you write that?
Yeah, goatism. I mean, that was 24-hour
Film fest.
film fest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just like happened, and I was just like, I'm
Go
gonna,
on the pizza.
I was like, I'm gonna wear a fake mustache. I'm gonna be a teacher at this thing. Like, it just is like, sometimes it's just like really like sporadic, like
Yeah.
that, or like, like taking a walk and I'm just like in my head and I just think of something funny.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, I think I'm the funniest person that I know. 'Cause
You
I
are one of the
laugh.
funniest people that I know.
I laugh at everything that I do, and I'm always just like, that would be a funny sketch. Like, I gotta
That's
turn that into
awesome.
something, and I'll like literally just like do a voice memo in my phone of like funny dialogue or a funny way to say something, and I'm like, I'm gonna put that in something at some point. So sometimes it's just like pieces that kind of fit together, and I just like put it together or whatever.
What about like the plane not crashing? It was just kind of an accidental landing, and then
Oh yeah, the fake news report. That actually,
Yeah.
that I came up with that idea months ago after watching Yellow Jackets.
Okay.
What's that? Is that a show on Netflix?
It's a Showtime show about a group of like soccer playing high school girls that crash
Ooh.
a plane in like a Arctic
It's like what
woodsy
happened
area.
in real life in the Alps. with
Yeah,
that soccer
exactly,
team.
exactly. And then basically they kind of like allude very heavily to cannibalism throughout the show, and I was just like, it'd be funny if like basically just what the sketch turned out, like if a guy got interviewed about a cookbook because he like crash landed on an island, but it's like, oh no, everybody survived the crash. That part. Anyway.
What kind of animals were on the island? There weren't any animals. So what kind of recipes are in the cookbook? Liver,
Liver,
kidney,
heart, brain.
Yeah, brain, and then you just kind of go off. And, and then the guy's just like, I'm dead. And it's like, where do you jump and go there?
I like that. I just thought that was funny, like the idea of like having that awkward moment happen, but in like an interview where it's like this guy's probably got to address the fact that he ate people, and he's just like, no, I'm dead. I died too. I'm a ghost, and then just leaves. I just thought that would just be a funny way to just like awkwardly just like beeline out of like an interview, like
cross dissolve out.
Like you just like you're like in such a corner that you just think of the most ridiculous thing, like excuse to like get out of answering the awkward question that you hate a bunch of people. Like, I'm dead. I'm a ghost.
I'm out.
I can't do this anymore. It's like, oh, okay.
just walk off set, like still hook the audio, and like get in your car and leave.
So you're dead. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm a ghost.
Do you have a TikTok?
Yeah, I post all my stuff on TikTok too. Yeah.
Have you gotten a good response from that? TikTok engagements like can be hit or miss, but when it hits, it can be a hit.
Yeah. It ebbs and flows. You know,
Do you
like
make
whatever.
Do you just do your high quality content on TikTok, or do you make like actual like phone content style TikTok too?
I will do that sometimes on TikTok. I'll just like use like again, it's like sometimes I'll just get like inspired by something like a random little scene or whatever, and I'll just be like, I'm just gonna shoot this on my phone and just play both characters and just like not, because sometimes it's like I get an idea and I'm like, oh, this is so funny, but it's like it's not good enough that I want to invest all the effort into actually producing something. So I'm just like, I'll just shoot it on my phone. Or like a lot of times, like if I come up with an idea that I think is funny enough, I'll shoot a phone version of it first.
Animatic.
Basically an animatic. Yeah, I'll storyboard it in real time and like do the dialogue, and then I'll like go and like just break it down and just make it into something or whatever.
You got a folder on your computer that's usually it's just the trash bin, but like, do you have a thing where you're like, this isn't good enough, and you're just like, have all these discarded ideas? No, you execute them all. That's perfect.
I have an ongoing like list in my phone of ideas that I come up with, and I just check them off when I do them.
That's awesome.
I'm just like, all right, I did that one.
Because what I was gonna say is I'm curious about like some of the half alive or like half dead things that you've done.
Oh well,
like,
I got a lot of those too.
Yeah.
I'll make them. And I just don't do anything with them. So I literally like have like a vault of videos that I just never put out.
I want to
just
see
like,
them.
I did them.
That's the part of finding yourself as an artist, though. You know, I mean, some of the work. I mean, not most, but a good amount of the work that I do too. I mean, never sees the light of day. But I mean, at the end of the day, who cares if like social media is going to see it? You know, I mean, it's practice. It's beneficial gain for you to get in front of the camera, to edit the video, whatever that may be. You know, so that's kind of the way that I look at those lost projects in a sense.
Yeah, and
too.
I mean, like, you know, sometimes
when they crash and burn.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I never look at it as like a crash and burn thing for me. It's just like a lot of my videos that I make for my YouTube channel are like supposed to be funny because like I found them funny or whatever. So like sometimes I'll do them and I'm just like, it's just not as funny as I remember it being, you know, or like it just doesn't really like.
Well, that's just because it's worn you, like you're worn out on it to a sense, you know. Like,
yeah, that's true.
But the other people, when they see it, it's the first time they've seen it in comparison to you, like going over the same idea, making it, editing it. At that time, you're burnt out with it, but then like, you know, somebody sees it with fresh eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That's a part of it too. Yeah, because when I was editing that news cannibal video or whatever, I was like watching it, and when I finished it, I was like so happy because I thought the deep fake turned out so good. It was like my best one that I'd done so far. I'm like, wow, this looks really good. But I was just like, I don't know if this is really that funny anymore.
I watched it this morning for the first time and was dying, like eating cereal at like 7:30 in the morning. Like, this is start my day off right. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's just kind of like I just got to do it. And then if it doesn't end up doing anything or going anywhere, I'm just kind of like, whatever. Or, you know, a lot of my videos I just kind of post and like nothing really happens. I just get my own sick satisfaction out of just like being ridiculous on camera. So
that's what it's all about, though, man.
Yeah.
If you get that internal gratification, then fuck everybody else.
I feel good about it. I don't really care if anybody watched it or not.
I feel good about them too.
Yeah,
funny.
I mean, I like to make the videos for like, you know, like you guys and like people that I know that I think would think it's funny. So like that's like my main audience at this point is just like if I can like, you know, if people like hit me up and they're like that was funny, I'm like, oh sweet, okay. I feel like a little bit better about it now.
Whenever I see you drop a video, like whenever it's on Instagram or something, and you're like, new YouTube link, I'm just like, fuck yes. What's it gonna be?
Yeah.
And is it like returning something at Kohl's? No shade on Kohl's. You know, it's Amazon's fault, not us.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, what is it gonna be? Like I
I don't know either. I don't know. It's gonna be something random.
Have you
So-
been? Oh, you can go. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, so you make a lot of your own videos, these ones that we've been talking about, but you also act as well in other people's productions. And I think the beauty in your acting kind of bleeds over, obviously, into your videos that you make yourself. But also just the fact of, like, you can play so many different characters or wear so many different gloves or hats, if you will, you know.
Got range.
Yeah. I mean,
you.
we've casted you in PSA and those ones as well. And I mean, you've done ads for WCC and I don't know, like all the extent of your catalog. But I mean, I think that's just the beauty in you specifically is the fact of like just being able to wear all those hats, which is really cool. Because I mean, the person that you played in our PSA is like night and day compared to like the Bob Ross you played in WCC. So it's really cool to see what you pull out of the bag.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, yeah, it's like when I do my own videos, I'm like obviously like very much a generalist filmmaker. Like I don't really feel like I know that much about filmmaking, to be quite honest. I just like know enough to do everything, including just like be on screen. And so I feel like a lot of times like that's just where my happy place is. Like,
They're coming.
Oh shit, guys, I gotta go. I feel like that's just like where my like comfortability is, like on set. Like whenever I do something with you guys, it's like I would rather be a talent than actually like be working the set because
talent is fun.
I'm basically useless on set, to be honest.
No, you're not.
I'm like I can like be like I could do things, you know. I just don't like I don't know enough about cameras to
You've
like
directed
be like
your own stuff. I've been on set with you when you've been a director.
That's like that's
and camera operator. You can do it.
You know, it's me. Like that's that's different too. Like it's like again, I think it's kind of like the concepting or like the writing thing. I'm like more of like an ideas guy than I am like an actual like technical, producer of things. I'm like I can come up with like an idea for something and I like have an idea of how like I'd like it to be executed, and then I can be on camera and I can do the thing on camera, and that's where my comfortability is really.
We got to get you directing and like crank out some like Tim and Eric bedtime stories type.
Well, no, because that's what I was gonna say. I think like some of your next steps of evolution, in my opinion,
yeah,
not
please.
telling you what to do.
No,
but
please
like could
do.
be something along the lines of bedtime stories, because like there's the technical aspect, but then there's also just the comedic, like dark humor that's just like it can't be achieved without that person, if that makes sense. And I think that you are one of those people that can just really bring out some of the best when it comes to like that comedic gold where everybody's just like what, but they're laughing, but there's also a little bit more depth to it, If that makes sense.
Well, just what I appreciate with bedtime stories is how like the production value is also there, but like it's still that Tim and Eric
It's like you're watching a movie.
absurdity that's just like through the roof. So like you have that absurdity, if you will, but like to bring that production value to it, or to even like start directing those kind of pieces would be sick. But with short films, it's so hard. Like where do they go without a TV like spot or whatever?
I know, yeah. I mean, but it's still just fun to do.
100%, and that's something that I would love to help out on a solid idea.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking about this last night. I'm like, you know what? Like I'm talked with the Drop boys tomorrow. I was just like, man, I should just write like a script or something. Like I should get these guys
slap
to
it
like
down.
slap it down and be like, yo, let's make something fucking weird or whatever, and just
let's do it.
I'd say like one of the main things that I am definitely envious of it, but is just seeing people like Colton and Sam and Lewis and them being able to write those super awesome fun narratives and stuff. But
I
like
love those guys.
It's a double-edged sword, because it's like they all have their day jobs and stuff like that. But for us at Drop to like step away from what feeds us to dive into a project of passion, it just would, we'd have to figure out something to do for income. But I do get jealous because I'm like, man, like that would be so like Burnt. So much fun, dude. That shit was tight.
Shit, bro.
I had a group of friends over like 2 weeks ago, and my PlayStation my image for like my username is me and Burnt with a gun. So like if I kill you online or something like that, you can go to my PlayStation account and it's like a picture of my face with a gun, like I'm gonna shoot you. And one of my buddies, I'm covered in blood and stuff like that. So one of my buddies was just like, "What is that picture from?" And I was like, "Oh, it's from this. Do you guys want to watch it?" And they were like, "Yeah." And then we watched it, and I hadn't seen it in years, and I was, they were blown away, and I was just like,
that
man,
turned out
like,
so
it was
fucking
so good. And it was one of those things where I was like, I remember when they showed me the final project, I was also blown away with like how technically perfect everything was when it comes to like makeup, VFX, storyline, shot variety, like everything. I was very like color grade. I was so impressed, like I was just having fun when that was happening. I think the most difficult part for me was when I was choking on that fake blood when you were strangling me, and then like I got a little bit in my nose, and I was like, ugh. Like that was gross. Like that was the hardest part of the whole thing. But I was like, this is fun as hell.
Oh man, that was so I mean, like in that. So like that is like a great Burnt is like the example that I look to as far as like roles that I would like to have more of. Like that was
serious roles.
Serious, yeah, I guess so. But I mean, just like the character was so fun to play. I just got to like look fucking crazy and act in this weird voice. And
you got a cool haircut for it.
I got a cool haircut for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It was just so it was just like. I had so much fun doing that.
And honestly, I do want to get Colton and those guys on here to talk about it, but the problem is like, it's hard to have like 5 people on a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
And like, who do I pull? Do I pull Sam? Do I pull Lewis? Do I pull Griffin?
You could just be like Out for Lunch Part 1 with Colton and just do them separately like that.
Well, I was talking to Colton about something a long time ago, and I just wanted his insight on something. And one of the first things that he said to me, because I was building a character and I was like trying to kind of get in the headspace of like who this character was, and he was just like, well, what's his backstory? Like, who's his family? Like, what are his goals? Like, how does he feel? Like, what are his visions on like politics or this or that? Like, and I was like, oh my God, you're right. I have to build this whole universe around this character. So just being, as a producer, instead of just thinking about like call sheets, I was thinking about like what the hell this story actually means, which was a place that I haven't really been. So it was just really interesting to hear him talk about that stuff. And then I was like, okay, like now I get like why you guys are good at what you do, because they spend so many hours like writing and all their pre-pro for the narrative in itself. And like those are just things that I wish we did more of, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of money in it. So
I know.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what the thing at Drop is we've been doing so many of those corporate and bill paying video jobs that like we kind of don't have time for those passion projects or those more like storytelling narrative style pieces, which I do want to get into. And it's like I feel like that only opportunity that we've had, not even recently, it's been fucking 5 years probably since we've done a 24-hour film fest, or 48. But like I feel like those are like the only time that like people, at least in the local community, like all come together, besides for what like the Sam and Lewis and all them are doing. But that's solely because they have those day jobs where they're working for that company, working the 9 to 5. So,
and then also when we do have free time, I just feel burnt out sometimes. It's like, dude, I'm not trying to open up the computer right now, which kind of sucks. But it's okay.
I mean, we'll get there. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't call it burnt out, but I mean, we're building something in a different direction and trying to perfect something in a different direction.
Yeah.
But a passion project with you and like something of that caliber would be definitely something I'm at least interested in.
Like, those guys have cast you for quite a bit. There's
just did like a Bush Beans
the Bush
commercial.
Beans commercial.
Sorry for your loss.
Which I still haven't finished, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, you gotta check it out.
It's a little bit more than halfway through it, and then I keep forgetting to dive.
Did
back.
you
Is that the wrestling one?
Damn.
Which one?
I basically like kind of
Sorry
have
for
like a
Your
dope
Loss is a wrestling
cameo
one.
in
Yeah.
it.
Oh really?
Yeah, but I was just excited. I like kind of being like those guys, like I don't know, like one of their like Wes Anderson cast of characters that they like pull in
Like
to
the
do
Adam-
something.
That's how I
Adam
feel
Sandler,
with
Ben
you too.
Stiller.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
don't do enough gigs where we have that type of opportunity.
Yeah,
to
I
play.
love that kind of like relationship.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's cool too, because like it does put you in different positions as an actor to like push your range in different directions.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting you were talking to Colton about like the character backstory and everything. Like I remember when I was like, in like high school, like doing plays and musicals and stuff like that. And I was like really serious about acting because I was like the first thing I ever wanted to do was be an actor.
Who was your inspiration for that sidebar?
For acting?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I saw The Matrix and I was like, I want to do what that guy is doing right there. That's badass. But I would do that. I would like sit around, I'd think about my character, I'd write a whole backstory for my character. I would like get really, really serious about it. And then, yeah, but I think like just in general, like my process for acting is just like a lot different. Like I just want to think about, like, again, going back to the Nick Cage conversation, it's like I don't feel like I want to think about the backstory of my character as much as I just want to think about what needs to get conveyed, like literally in the scene. Like it's not necessarily going to help me, and maybe it's just the way my mind works or whatever, but like it depends if it calls for it, right? Like if I got cast in a role where I was like really needed to be like serious and have like a backstory, I guess I could like go do some like method acting stuff.
You're the killer
or whatever.
from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I'll be Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
But like a lot of times I just like to like get in the feeling of like what is going on, you know, like, and that's what I felt like I got to do in Burnt, which was like so fun, was like I had a lot of those conversations with Colton leading up to it. I was like talking to him about like, yo, I'm going to get this crazy haircut. Like, I just have this vision for what this character is going to look like. And he's like, yeah, it sounds sweet. It sounds sweet. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to do a voice that kind of sounds like Paul Giamatti. Like, I just kind of want to like sound like a little weird, you know? And he's just like, yeah, man, go for it. And I remember like there was the scene at the end when I kill the Russian guy.
Yeah. I'm so sick of that fucking accent.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm so sick of that fucking accent. And I remember like I did it and Colton was kind of like, I don't know what I remember exactly. He was like, he was kind of like tone it down or whatever. And I was like, yeah, all right. And I like did something different or whatever. And then he was like, all right, let's do one more take. And he's just like, Ben, just go for it. And I was just like, all right, that's what I want to hear.
And that's the take.
And I think that's the take that they used. Yeah. Cause I was like, yes, it just felt good to just like, just feel like alive on set. You know, I always get that feeling when I'm like on camera and it's like rolling. I'm just like, I'm alive. I'm doing something like fucking weird that like I wouldn't do in real life. You know,
yeah,
that's where I get my kicks out of. You know,
it's fun.
It's
getting
super fun.
tossed to the ground, and drug up to
yeah, exactly. I'm like, when is that
window.
going to happen to me in real life? That's so fun.
Yeah,
and it puts you in like this weird state because I've acted in a few things, but nothing really like cool or serious other than like Burnt. You know,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That was
You killed it
definitely
in Burnt too, bro.
Well, it's interesting because thank you, but it's interesting because like I never had those conversations with Colton and Lewis. They were just like, "Don't shave your beard," and I was like, "Okay." And then like we're on set and they're like, "Okay, more or less or this or that." And I was like, "Okay." And like I didn't really have a lot of acting experience, but like it worked.
You were so good, man.
But it was fun because like, you know, I grew up playing a lot of video games and doing a lot of like action stuff. So like to be that guy, with that, and then like it was a lot of fun on set. But then when it was done and I got to see it, I was like, "Whoa!"
You're like a real fucking action hero.
Yeah,
on
right.
that
I was
shit,
like,
man.
"Whoa!"
That was so fun.
And
to watch.
speaking of fucking Bruce Willis, man, and I heard that like yesterday, that crushed me too because like that's like I grew up loving Die Hard. Like that was a
hold up, what happened?
He just got diagnosed.
He got diagnosed with I think it's called aphasia.
Oh yeah, no. Dina did tell me about that, where you can't like.
You have
It's actually
trouble communicating and understanding.
It's actually an
language.
incredibly scary disease. I was reading a bunch of stuff
sounds
about it
fucking
yesterday.
scary, yeah.
It's like you lose the ability, and it ranges for everybody, but encompassing like worst of the worst is losing the ability to understand speech, losing the ability to convey speech, losing the ability to read, and then losing the ability to like understand like signs and like sign language and just like
So
basic
just like brain, like motor skills,
Well,
basically
like,
are the only thing that are.
It sounds
kicking.
so scary because like you have your thoughts and you are still alive, but then just like a whole communication breakdown of you can't even write sometimes or read. So you
So
you're basically alone. You basically are in a shell and you can't do anything about it because you can't even convey any emotion or anything. I mean, I feel like you could with like body language and stuff, but like I don't know. It sounds
I don't know,
terrifying.
yeah, brain stuff freaks me out so bad.
So much,
I
and
am
it can
so
just
scared of
happen.
that.
It
I
can
mean,
just
and
happen.
that's like my mind goes to like, is that a cause from like all of this like heavy conditioning for these like heavy action roles and different personas and stuff like that, to
Like
where like
neurological
long.
misfiring,
I mean, because
is that
he's
what we're
been
saying?
an actor for years now, to where like maybe that could have done something. I mean,
I just
feel
think
like it's
about
a genetic thing, or like not genetic, but like
I mean,
feel like
it very
it's something
well
that
could
your
be.
brain just
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
I know it's just freaky because like who knows why that happened.
I mean, that's like
I don't
football
know.
players getting like
CTE.
I mean, do you guys
CTE
ever?
and
I've been
all
having
that.
this thing recently where I like keep like cringing like randomly because I like remember all of these times when I was younger where I just fucking clock my head on something really hard.
Really?
You ever think about how many times you
No.
hit your head as a kid?
I haven't hit my head a lot throughout my life.
I've hit my head a fair amount
I
of
have
times.
not.
I have really knocked my head around a couple of times, and I think about those moments and thinking about what it feels like, and I'm like, if that happened to me now, I don't fucking know what would be going on with me. Right
I know
now.
the
Like, it
feeling of
freaks
like
me
the
out.
rock, like that's happened where like your head hits the ground or something like
Yeah, I
that.
hate that. It just makes me so uncomfortable just thinking about my brain getting just.
I was at Alpine. I was probably like 14 years old. First run down, I hit this jump at the end and caught a lip right at the edge, right at the takeoff, and it sent me like, just like ass down to the ground. And I overshot the jump, landed flat on my butt, and then buckled to my head. I compressed my spine, and I had this huge hematoma on my head. It was like this.
Oh my god!
That was probably I thought I broke my back. I was seeing these splotches of color and
Yeah,
shit.
Oh
Like,
my
it was
God.
insane.
The little diamonds and
No,
triangles.
it was like circles, like
Oh my
circle of all these different colors, like black, red, blue.
well, like Demi
all these-
Lovato. Did any of you guys listen to the Rogan interview with Demi Lovato?
I know.
No.
Oh, I did. She was talking about how like she's overdosed a few times on like some hardcore drugs and everything, and because of that, she's blind. In her peripherals.
I watched the Demi Lovato YouTube documentary actually, where she talked about that. Yeah,
That sounds terrifying.
that is nightmarish for me. Nightmares.
So
Yeah.
you're just like this, basically.
Well, she says she just has like gray. Like if you ever look at a bright light for too long, you know how you get those splotches. She has that, but like in her peripherals of like gray most of the time.
I hate all that stuff.
Yeah.
I hate thinking about what's going on in my brain and like not knowing like if everything feels normal and then one day something happens and I'm just like, ugh, it just
So
freaks me out, man.
scary.
So
So
scary. It scares
so
the
many
shit out of me.
neurons and shit.
I don't understand what's going on in my fucking brain.
It's complex.
Freaks me out, man. I don't like it.
Well, what? Okay, so we can switch subjects. What are you working on now? Are you got any things lined up for acting gigs or like anything cool that you've done recently besides that Bush Beans? I think that's the most recent one that I'm aware of.
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't really got a whole lot going on. I'm just making these weird little videos on my YouTube channel. I've just been really inspired by this weird tech that I
Character,
found out.
yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
just like, I really am just like having so many ideas for that. So I'm like just kind of like constantly shooting things because I keep having ideas and they're super easy to film for me. So I'm literally just like have a green screen studio set up in my apartment. So I just turn on the cameras and just do something.
There you go.
And then I can just kind of like leisurely edit and work on it throughout the week or whatever. So it's like really like low effort for me to just kind of like crank those out, honestly. So that's like the most creative stuff I have going on right now. But no, I would love to do some acting and somebody else's stuff, you know. I don't know who's working
get
on
to-
it.
Anybody who hears this, it's time.
Let's get to writing something.
Yeah, I feel like it's time. I feel like it's time to come out and you know, I feel like
It's-
people are doing more stuff now.
We're about to
you
hit
know?
that Renaissance period. where,
Yeah.
like, things are
Let's
gonna change
seriously
intensely.
let's try and come up with something and write a little short film piece.
I would love to.
Something.
I would love to. I can definitely come up with something.
Yeah.
I'll come up with something. Oh, I
let's
do
do it.
have a really good idea. I'm not going to say it on here,
Yeah, no.
but I
let's
do
save
have
it
a
for
really
the-
good idea for like a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
I'll pitch you guys when we're done here. But
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
but yeah, no, that's pretty much it, man. I'm just having a good time. I'm just chilling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you have been doing a lot of traveling lately. You were in Austin. I just recently talked to you. You were in Vegas.
Yeah.
Did you just see Tyler the Creator? Is that what I
Yeah, I
remember?
saw Tyler there. Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was sick, man.
That sounds
Honestly,
awesome.
I
That
saw.
wasn't the stage where somebody threw their phone on stage, was it? That wasn't that show.
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so. I saw him twice in February, actually. I saw him in
Wow.
Vegas and I saw him in Detroit.
Dang.
And the Detroit show was way better, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. You could tell he's got serious love for Detroit.
Vegas is a weird place.
Super
At least
weird.
the crowds,
Never been.
the crowds that Vegas attracts, like
Mm-hmm.
for at least from like a DJ's perspective, it's really interesting. Of like,
the residencies and stuff.
Well, like you just have to take like the crowds that are gonna be in Vegas are your bachelorette parties, your like girls trips, your like reunions, yada
Degenerate
yada,
gamblers.
all of that, to where it's not
The scum of the
you're-
earth.
Yeah. But it's just like a different crowd that like I feel like artists that come to Vegas personally struggle with, because it is such a
They have to appeal to
weird
pop
niche.
culture.
It feels
It's
very
slow, like
yeah.
Las Vegas is slow. Like they're not with it yet, I would say.
And it's just very like, yeah, I felt like that show was just kind of very like, I don't know if like despondent is the right word, but it just kind of felt like disconnected a little bit. Like, yeah, it's like people in Detroit are like, they're living in Michigan.
Where did he play in?
yeah,
in
they're
Vegas?
living in Michigan.
In Vegas, he played at Mandalay Bay.
Okay, yeah.
So my girlfriend and I were like staying at the Luxor, so we literally could just walk.
Oh fuck yeah!
We just walked over to the show when it was time.
Nice. You do any
Pre-game-
gambling?
Yeah, I think I might have a gambling problem, honestly.
Really, dude? I
What's your-
cannot.
what's
I
your-
can't
think I would
gamble,
be-
dude. I cannot gamble.
I didn't think I would be that type of person, but I don't know. Like, I guess that's
What were you? What
That's
were
why you
you
had to put
spending
him
your
down.
money
Those
on?
gambling degenerates. It's not me.
it's not like I don't know. Like I have been like wanting to go back to a casino ever since I was in Vegas. I'm like,
hey,
I want to
let's-
go back.
Did
man.
you go? Did you
Hit
come
me
out
up,
up or
let's go.
down?
Huh?
Did you come out up or down?
Oh, down.
Oh, dude. Then yeah, you're
down.
definitely a gambling addict. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Hey,
I know.
we'll
It's
go
just
to-
so much fun.
We'll go
No,
to
dude.
We'll go to
gambling scares the
MGM
shit
some
out
night.
of me.
We'll go to MGM some night.
I know. I
Give me
really
the
want to go
Vino.
gamble in Detroit. That would be fun, man.
What's your game? What do you play?
I don't do like I don't know how to play like.
He's like
Cards
anything
or
I could
anything.
throw money at.
So slots.
I'm like slots and like yeah, pretty much slots. I mean, there was a bunch of different games there that I was like playing around with. I spent like several hours one night playing the penny slots, and I just refused
Your
to.
eyes are lighting up, and it's like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
ding,
I
ding,
just
ding, ding.
refused to walk away from this machine down. And so as soon as I made like just enough to break even again, I was like, okay, I gotta stop.
It's good. Self control.
Yeah.
There's a there's a Willy Wonka slot machine that has treated me really well. Every single time I
Ooh.
play it, I rock out on top. But blackjack for sure, you can
Dude.
you can
You're
you
like,
can win
I
some
don't-
money. But it's
I
weird.
don't know about
Blackjack
blackjack.
has a system for sure. It's like you win or you lose 4 to 5 times, and then you'll win 1 to 2, almost guaranteed every time.
The worst part about gambling is like if you want to have any fun, you gotta play with a lot of
Gotta
money.
throw it down.
Exactly.
I mean, I play a lot of Texas Hold'em, and I grew up playing a lot of poker and Hold'em and stuff like that, and that's what I can do, and I'm good at it. Mm-hmm. But you will not catch me in a casino because, like, I just know the curve. Like, what do they say?
well, once you
game
win, you're just going to
experience-
be fucking hooked, and
Well,
you're
it's
going
like,
to be.
what is it? It's like
Yeah.
game experience may change during online play. Like, you might think that you're good until you go battle with the other boys.
Oh,
and you
yeah,
just get
yeah,
ripped up. And like, I feel like that's what would happen to me playing poker. And I can't spare to lose $100, let alone like 10.
Dude, I've
Hell
been doing some research on like the high roller gamblers and
Ooh,
stuff like
yeah.
that. Shit's really interesting to me and still doesn't click right. So like there's like all these like celebrities and rappers and stuff like Little Baby and stuff. He's known for like after every Lil Baby. After
You
every
might get
show.
insulted if you say that.
Well, after every show, he's like in the casino, whatever town he's in. He's in the like has a room
interesting.
has a room at the casino, throwing like playing roulette and stuff. Like, I don't get how these people like they're doing like $200,000 hands
Yeah,
like
that's
on the table,
that's
laying
normal.
it all down and stuff. Like it's
But that's just like how much you
insane.
made that night.
Yeah, right.
You know,
But
like, who cares?
Even
you can make that
even
a mill.
beside those like celebrities like Drake and stuff, he just got like a bunch of recognition for throwing like $250,000 down on the table or whatever.
No,
But,
he threw $3 million when he was gambling on his phone.
What?
he gave someone all that money. It was like on a
Oh,
Twitch.
really?
It was a Twitch stream. He like gave him like a shit ton of Bitcoin or whatever.
Huh.
But the people that are just in the high stakes gambling world, like it blows my mind, and there has to be some sort of counting cards going down to like the maximum extent, because like there's coaches and shit that'll sit there with you at that level and stuff and really be holding
Oh, like
your
while
hand.
you're playing?
Yeah, and like there's private rooms. People are getting banned from casinos
There
just
was,
from winning. Like they'll be like
Wow.
security guards from the casino that'll come in and try and fuck with these certain players, like I don't even know. It's weird.
2 quick stories. When I was in Costa Rica, I couldn't learn how to play this one game for some reason. I don't remember what it was. It was a card game, but I was having a lot of trouble like picking up on it. And I lost like $40, and I was like, okay, that's too. I don't want to keep playing this. So I back up, and I'm standing behind my brother-in-law and some other people that are playing, and the whole entire casino. It's about a room a little bit bigger than this with normal ceilings, and it was a small casino. There are mirrors everywhere, and of course they have the cameras. And there's the guy who's the pit boss, and then there's a guy working the computer working the cameras behind the computer in the corner. And I was just kind of standing there, and like I looked at the pit boss, and then like when my eyes moved from the pit boss, it went to the computer guy. And then I looked over in the mirror, and the security guard was looking at me. And then I just like looked up at the camera, and I was like, "Uh-oh!" Like I just pegged myself as a target just because I made eye contact with everybody. And then the camera, and then less than 30 seconds later, the security guard comes up to me. He's like,
"No,
hey man, you gotta leave." And I was like, "Fuck!" Like
just for like acting too sus,
just
basically.
for looking sus AF. And I was just
That's
like,
amazing.
no, because they thought I was
Gotta be
doing
cool.
something. Yeah, I wasn't. I just looked at too many people. And then, of course, like when my eye went from the first one to the second one, I was like, stop. And I just kept bouncing around in my head. But, okay, so there was a kid that I actually didn't go to high school with him, but I met him in the ARB. His name is Jake. I'm not going to say his last name, but he was a card counter. And by the time he was 19 years old, he had bought a house on Getty's in the hills of Ann Arbor. And he had just pre-ordered a Tesla, and this was before Teslas were the norm. What? So he had like got it shipped to him, and like he got all these rims for it and everything like that. And I was just talking to him one day, and I like listening to his story. And he was a card counter and a gambler. And at first, he started online doing it illegally under the age of 18, and he realized he was really good at it. So then he started going around and flying to a bunch of casinos in Vegas and stuff like that. And he said by the time he was 18 years old, his parents knew something was up because like he had a secret bank account, like he had like all these cool things, and then like he was like, yeah, I'm moving out. I just bought a house in Ann Arbor for like $300,000, and his parents were like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, I'm really, really good at gambling. Like, just because he's like a card counter and everything. He's just
got some bad news, mom and dad.
Yeah, I can like win every single game that I play. But he's banned from a bunch of casinos in Vegas because they know who he is. They know he's good at it, and they know he's going to take his money. And he's like part of all these double diamond clubs and stuff. So like he would tell me, because this all started because I said I was mad because somebody owed me like $20, and he was like, "Oh, you think that's crazy? There's this guy I lended like $13,000, never saw him again." And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're like 17 years old, $13,000 you're just tossing around? And he's like, yeah, it's one of my gambling buddies. Like, we were in Vegas, and then like, you like to gamble, I like to gamble, let's go on a weekend trip. And like, you got your community, and like one of his buddies was down a bunch of money, and like he knows that his buddy can also card count, and like they're all in this together, kind of like it's Ocean's 11 style shit. But the guy like lost some money, bounced overnight, couldn't find him, all this stuff. I bet you all these people have these crazy backstories of like gambling addictions and everything. But yeah, he, by the age of 18, 19, had already bought a car, a house, and was like completely set up with a bank account, and he'd already been banned from a bunch of casinos and stuff.
That is impressive.
That's what I thought too. And I was like, where do you go in life from there?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I feel like online gambling, there's some tricks to be played and some money to be made. Like if you can count the cards, like online, fuck it, You don't got the security guard.
That's everybody's theory.
But you just have to be smart enough to count cards.
If everybody could do it, everybody'd be
that.
rich,
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about this Bad Vegan miniseries on Netflix?
I've watched it. Yeah.
You watched it?
Yeah.
I just finished it last night.
Yeah,
it's
pretty solid.
That's solid, but that's
crazy.
also like a very interesting gambling story.
Yeah, just just siphoning money through your. Who knows? It's up for
like a
debate.
nonprofit or something like that.
No, basically, there was this girlfriend, or there's this guy who had this girlfriend who owned a restaurant in New York, and like,
don't spoil it. But yeah, tell me.
Siphoned money through, just like kept asking her for money, or just had this girl like.
The Tinder
manipulated
swindler.
This girl, basically, kind of the same sort of scenario as the Tinder swindler, just like funneling money through through this girl, and she's the one that ends up like taking the fall and ends up having to do all this jail time. And
God, financial.
But
ruin.
she also could have been tied into it. I mean, who knows? She might have just been like really
it ends
manipulated,
a little
like
questionably at the end
Yeah.
there. But yeah, it's.
Have you guys? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like it was spoiler alert.
Ah,
Do you really not want to know?
He's not gonna
Fuck it.
watch it.
Tell me.
You should watch it anyway. It's
spoiler
still
alert for
good.
everybody. Turn it down.
Yeah. But basically, yeah, like you just basically find out he's like getting all this money from her because he's a gambler.
Oh, so that's not even part of the whole entire story arc.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Well, and he's done it to multiple women too.
Yeah. And I just like thought that was so interesting too. Just like, what do you think you're gonna go at that point?
That's what I was saying. Where it's like, you're really good at gambling at the age of 19. You can get unlimited money. What next? Like what? Like seriously, what the fuck do you
just
do?
keep gambling.
They say idle hands will make your mind go crazy, but like the reason is because if you're not doing stuff that makes you happy on a daily basis with your hands, then you're just like you're wasting your life. And like it's the same thing. Like we go on runs because it's fun. We paint pictures because it's fun. We do videos because it's fun. But those are all things that we do. When we're sitting around doing nothing, you go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're gambling and like, okay, how much money do you need? How much money can you get? Like, are you doing something that fulfills you as a person? Like, what do you do?
Well, that makes that's the difference between a successful person at a casino and a unsuccessful person at the casino is just being able to walk away.
It's fucking. Are you guys
That's
familiar
not
with
me.
David Cho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cho Show.
Yeah, I love the Cho Show.
Cho Show was insane.
It's beautiful.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's probably one of the best things I've seen in a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
agree. I was blown away by that.
I mean, people are gonna think that I love Rogan or something. I don't. I like how he's a platform for celebrities. He did an interview with Rogan. I don't know if did you listen to that episode?
No.
David Cho and Joe Rogan. If you like David Cho, listen to that. He
Okay.
talks about like his whole entire backstory as a child and like all of his addictions and stuff like that. But he was a gambling addict because he got like all those millions from Facebook. If you're familiar with
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
show got
yeah.
the rise. But he had nothing to do, and he had like a lot of trauma as a child. So basically, he talks about on Rogan where like for the first, after he got rich and famous, all it was debauchery of like prostitutes, male and female, like orgies, a lot of drugs, and a lot of gambling. And he even paid his best friend a salary of like, I think it was like $140,000 a year or some large number to just travel with him and be his money manager. Because if he were to hire a money manager, he would call, like somebody would call him on the phone and be like, "David, you can't spend any more money." He'd say, "Fuck you, you're fired."
So he had a guy
"Fuck
with
you,
him
you're
to like,
fired."
take care of his money.
Yeah, he had his friend because he's not going to say "fuck you, you're fired" to his best friend.
Right,
What he's going to do is he's going to get mad at him, but his friend is going to grab him by the fucking neck in a chokehold and drag him from the casino. He was like, "I literally just paid my friend a salary to physically drag me out of the casino because when I was there, I couldn't stop." And like he just goes into this whole entire story about it. It's crazy. He also goes into this story about how he was like lost in the jungle for like 15 to 20 days, like in search of this dinosaur when he was like 19 years old with like a German guy that he was like had like this whole backstory of how like he was a German guy's bodyguard, and then as they got lost in the woods, the German guy didn't drop the stick, so he would keep talking down to David Cho, and he got kind of racist toward him and stuff. And then David Cho just goes into this whole entire thing about how he was going to murder him and eat him in the woods of like the jungle of Cambodia because he needed food, and he was like holding this rock above his head, and he's like, "I'm gonna crush his skull," but then he did. Dude, you got to listen to it. It's
That is crazy.
It's such a crazy interview.
I thought that was interesting about Cho Show, just like all the different things he talked about with his guests and stuff like that. He had so many stories. I think he did talk a little bit about his gambling and his porn addiction
He's
in the
got
show.
nuts addictions.
But it's like funny, like just you saying that right now, just like thinking about the contrast between like I'm in a casino, I can't stop gambling, to all of a sudden like I'm in the jungle with this guy. Like it's just like what kind of life?
His life
sounds
is
really
nuts.
fascinating.
His life is nuts. He tells this story about how like they almost got like raped by this cowboy trucker like overnight. Like they slept at his house.
God.
It was this great dude. You gotta listen to it.
I'm not that adventurous.
But
That's the thing with casinos when you hit that win that's like $100,000 or $200,000, you know, like that does something to your brain.
I did get triggered a little bit. I did get one big win in the playing a slot game, playing Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
And,
How much you win?
I won like a couple $100.
Yeah.
But I was just like, want to do it again.
That's how they get you. I want to chase that dragon.
Our friend Nadeem, we were up north with him and his girlfriend Natalie, and we went to a casino up there, up in the UP in Michigan, and she had never been to a casino. It's like just a dinky little casino in middle of nowhere, you know. But we go there, and she like gets a little like card or whatever for like $20 credit, like just for being a first time at the casino. Ends up playing a slot machine and wins like $850 off of that.
She kept it?
Yeah, she kept it, but she Natalie, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but she won it, and she was terrified that she won. She like got it and then immediately went to the counter, cashed it out, and was like, "Guys, we have to go right now." And like was so scared that someone was gonna like rob her or something.
Oh no!
Like we were in the middle of nowhere, like.
Yeah, you're at like a fucking fire keepers or some shit.
Exactly, something like that. Like it's not gonna happen. You didn't win like 20 grand and you're in the middle of Detroit like flossing. So
I mean, I get it though. If you just all of a sudden like got almost $1,000, I'd be like, okay, let's go, let's get out of here. I would probably be the same way.
Yeah, it was just kind of funny, but it was amazing. Her first experience at a casino on the free play. Been messing with this pen the whole time.
Don't throw it at Ben. Trey. Do not.
Just hitting 850 on a free play. Pretty dope.
That's sick.
I was on a cruise in the Bahamas. I might have already told this story on a recent podcast. It was my cousin's wedding, and there's a casino in the cruise ship. And I've never been gambling, but I've been in and out of casinos, but I just know that I don't want to do it. But I had told, like, it's a family affair. Like all my relatives are there, all my cousin's friends are there. Everybody's at the casino. Like that's what the activity was for the night. Like go gamble. Mm-hmm. And I was just walking around drinking and like, you know, looking over everybody's shoulder and actually videotaping and taking cool pictures because they let me take in my full lens camera and everything. So I don't know. I was just doing my thing. And then my mom is just making fun of me. She was like, "Here's $20. Like, go do something with it." And I was like, "Okay." And then like I like put it in this machine, and it was a giant touchscreen machine. Like it was like a big one, and yeah, it was really nice actually. Okay. I also was like kind of stoned, like I'd been hitting my vape pen, you know, and I was like, "Ooh, like what's going on here?" Put it in. Bonus game, first thing that happens, and there's all these little koi fish that are swimming around on screen, and it was like it was like kill all or like tap all the koi fish because it was a touch screen. So I was just like, okay, bink, like this is super easy. But what I didn't realize is every koi fish that I tapped was $25. So I was just like, oh shit. So then I just started game on, baby, and I just fucked this game up, and I was up like. I think it was like $600.
Oh my
$20
God.
to $600, and I was like, "Holy shit! This is how casinos are." Like,
that's always the thing. It's like
that's how they get
when
you.
You play
but
those
how do they
games
know that
too,
it was my first time? You know,
it's always like when you play those games too. Like it happens with Wheel of Fortune. It happened with like a lot of the penny slots. Is like you hit that right combination and you get the bonus game, and it just starts going, and it basically just gives you a bunch of free money, and you're like, "Woo, let's go!"
And then guess what?
Yes,
that's what I did. I was like, sweet, $600. Like, I'm gonna fuck this casino up. Like they didn't know John Downing was in the crib tonight. Guess what? Lost all of it. All of it. And I was like, what the fuck? You're so stupid. I was like, you should have known to walk away. But I was like, well, if it's gonna be that easy on the first one, the rest of these like, give me another coin. Like, let me play that game again, see what happens. Of course not.
That's what they do.
Of course not. Yeah, I lost all of it, and then I think I was up. I got my 20. I was like $23 left.
That's why I was
like,
okay,
just thrown. $3.
You should have thrown that 600 on red or black.
They didn't. Oh, I probably should have. They did have a roulette table.
Fucking double dab boy, real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why gambling to me is just.
It's dangerous.
I'll buy crypto and NFTs. That's good enough.
That's
for me.
digital gambling. It's no different.
It's good enough for me.
It is dangerous.
You guys, okay? So you guys were talking about Bad Vegan. Have you guys seen Pat and Tommy?
Pam and Tommy?
Pam and Tommy, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Pat and Tommy.
Yeah, Pam
What's
and Tommy.
What's that one?
I don't know.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that was sick.
Did you see it, Trey? Yeah, I just watched the last episode last night.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I thought
it ended kind of. Yeah. It started off a lot stronger.
I thought it was shot really well, and I thought the storytelling was really, really good. I didn't realize that Tommy Lee was such a fucking asshole. And now, like, when I wear my Motley Crue shirt at the gym or something like that, I'm just like, man, now everybody probably thinks I'm like a huge misogynistic prick because I'm wearing that shirt.
They don't think
Well,
that.
it's got Seth Rogen in it. It's got a bunch of other people in it. And it's basically about Pam and Tommy's sex tape, like Pamela Anderson's sex tape. Cause
What's it on?
Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's only like 8 episodes, but it's really cool because you think about like Pam and Tommy's sex tape, like Kim Kardashian and Kanye's sex tape. Like these are things that like everybody can Google, and it's just like, oh, cool. Like I don't even think I've never seen both of those sex tapes, but just because like growing up and where we are, like why would you need to watch that when there's just like pornographic
it's just
material
regular
everywhere?
porn. Yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's the sense of knowing who you're watching.
But back in the day, that wasn't the case. Like you had to go to a porno store and like shamefully like buy something.
Go
or,
in the
like,
back
get
of
a
the family
tape.
video.
Yeah,
Go to the Lion's
and then,
Den.
like, run in and out. Like I've heard people talk about that on other podcasts where like people nowadays have it so easy. Like when I was a teenager, this and that, you got to make sure no one's home and all that other stuff. But just like hearing the story of like how that sex tape actually took off, and then like the effects that it had,
on just like the internet in general. You know what I actually really loved about Pam and Tommy, more than the actual story itself, is like I love this trend of like these biopics that we're seeing that are like just snapshots of people's lives. Like how there used to be like the walk
there's
the
always
line.
a story to tell.
The Walk the Line was like Johnny Cash's whole life story.
Yeah.
Now we're getting like Pam and Tommy. It's like an 8-episode series about this one moment in these people's lives.
It's like
That's
Adam
another
McKay
issue though
with
like a lot. That's another issue though I see with all these documentaries where they're spreading them so thin throughout these like 4-part series or 8-part series. I haven't seen this one, so I can't speak to it. But like you get to the end of the 4-part series and you're like, damn, like you could have just summed that all up in a 2-hour like or 1 hour thing. Like they spread them so thin lately.
Sometimes
for some of the
ruin,
docs.
sometimes
They do ruin it that way, yeah, for sure.
But sometimes they do it really well, and I think Pam and Tommy did it pretty well.
I think Pam and Tommy did it pretty well because it was like funny. It was kind of like lighthearted. Like it was very entertaining and engaging. I saw a movie recently. Did you guys see Spencer?
No,
Kristen Stewart movie. She plays Princess Di.
Yes. Yes.
You did see that?
I think so. Spencer,
yeah, it just came out.
Okay, no, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
Well, like this movie is about, I don't know shit about Princess Di or anything like that. I literally just watched it on a flight and didn't like it. Well, I didn't think it was a very good movie, but it was really cool because it's like Princess Diana. It wasn't about her life. It was just about 3 days.
Dude, I would really like, because what you said that earlier, it's the same thing with like Adam McKay and The Big Short or something.
Yeah.
Like let's talk, or Ford versus Ferrari. Let's dissect this one little
Just this
moment
thing.
in time.
Yeah, like I love that. I really like that because you can really slow things down and like, I mean, obviously there's a lot of embellishments. You don't know what the people said at these times, but it's the same with like any biopic. It's like you don't know what Freddie Mercury said at this point in his life or whatever, It's just like this time frame. I love this like trend of this whole thing of like Jesus, like slowed down.
Humans are extremely voyeuristic and curious, and that might be like, reality TV shows.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Then this is basically just like a highly produced reality TV show in a sense, if that, maybe if that makes sense. But yeah, it's really cool the way that they dive into certain characters and like how it really affects that person at that time. Like with Pam and Tommy, like that whole Pamela Anderson sex tape, like at the end of that series, like you feel what she's feeling. And there was like this scene with her and Tommy Lee and the way that she had like was speaking to him, like you could tell that she like resents him. And then toward the end of it, like you almost start resenting him too, because like you're just like, get your head out of your ass and like look at what this person's going through. And I think they just did it really, really, really well, especially from a woman's perspective, which is not a perspective in Hollywood that's taken like into account a lot, especially when it comes to things like sexualization, especially through things like Penthouse and Pamela Anderson and Playboy and all that other stuff. So,
yeah, it's true. They did do a good job at kind of like making you feel, and like the way they like portrayed Tommy in like certain aspects or whatever, he just like really wasn't understanding what she was going through.
No, and there was just a thing where like she was like, give it to him for free because I just want this to be.
I just want this to be over.
Over. And when she said that, like as a person who was watching it, like you almost, for me at least, I almost had a relief where it's like, that sounds like a great idea because this is a bunch of bullshit. Like, give it to him for free. You guys have a kid on the way. You have this and that. Like, and Tommy's just like won't get over it, the money or the fame and all that other stuff. And then she's like, sign this document, and he's like, or what? And it's like you're just looking, and it's like, dude, it's like your relationship or this sex tape. Which one are you gonna choose? And it's so clear for us, but like for them at the time, it's probably not.
Yeah, and I just think it's like when I watch something like that and like, Pam Anderson has that reaction of like, just give it to him for free. I just want this to be over. And I think about like so many like moments, like even in this Bad Vegan docuseries on Netflix or whatever, it's like you just see a character like really get so in over their head of like something is just like so overwhelming. And it's like, thinking about people just like being in situations like that in real life and just like not being able to like see outside of it, to just be like, I just gotta stop, like whatever this is, it's like it's just gotta be over. Like I just can't deal with this anymore, But like it's easy for us to like see it like as a like the voyeuristic, like you could see it and be like, oh my god, you're doing this thing or whatever. Like in the Bad Vegan thing,
you just gotta tell the people, I'm dead.
Yeah, at some point it's like you're in over your head, just
I'm
like
gone.
I'm dead, I'm a ghost, I'm out of here,
Jeez. Yeah, but I thought that was a really good. I like that.
Yeah, I love that too.
I just finished Righteous Gemstones.
I just finished that too.
I am on season 2.
Yep, yeah, 2 seasons.
Yeah, I'm on season 2.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe
good.
the first few.
Yeah, I do love that. I do love Danny McBride.
Danny
so much.
McBride's a champion, dude.
Yeah.
He's so fucking
I love
funny.
the sister. Her
She-
role is amazing.
I think my
especially
favorite
in
character-
season 2, she's
Yeah.
really like cranked up the wildness. Yeah, I
she
love her.
Yeah.
The last episode I watched was when Baby Bowery got hit by the lightning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
I think that show definitely triggers a lot of things in me growing up in like a Christian household. Just like, dude, I'm dead ass serious. It's crazy. Like when I'm watching it, I'm just like, because I know like what John Goodman is trying to do.
They
and
do
it's
the
like, I grew up
perfect
with
job
people like
at
that.
like it's that, but like I feel like a Christian could almost watch that show and appreciate it.
Yeah.
But then someone in my standing where I don't have like really a belief just laughs at that and it's fucking gold. But like it does that like dance between the lines that's like perfect.
The whole entire Adam Devine is like, but I told you, Daddy, I didn't do anything. And then the sister, they're like, she stole the money from the church. And then Danny McBride's like, but like, I did the cocaine and all this stuff. And it's just like they're all blaming each other. And the dad's just like, holy fuck. Like I've seen that happen in the church community where people are like,
Really?
we've got this whole entire like vibe of like, God-fearing Christians. But then you always have to remember that there are a lot of human people and there are a lot of fucked up shit that happens in the world. And then the thing that the church does is they talk about forgiveness and stuff. Fuck no. It's shame and high horses all the way through and through. Which
So
is
you
one
feel
of
like
the
you gotta
reasons-
like hide it, that
Oh
stuff
yeah,
part of
totally.
you all the time?
Yeah, you have to. And if you don't, like you get shamed by the church. Or
well, you're always going to be known as, oh, that's Johnny. He's
There
an,
was a girl
he's an
that-
Doing a lot of
adulterer.
coke.
there was a girl that I went
he
to.
did a lot of coke.
There was a girl that I went to church with who had a teen pregnancy, and she didn't abort the baby, and she was asked, and she did it, to formally apologize to the whole church in front of everybody.
Oh my god.
And this happened in Ann Arbor.
What?
Yeah, and she went to my high school and everything.
And that's like
It's
probably
so
the tamer of the
fucked
tame
up.
of
that
Christian
was,
churches.
That was a tamer.
You know?
Yeah, that was a tamer of the tame. Shannon, her mother, got exiled from the Catholic church she was going to because she missed tithe for like 6 months when she was going through a divorce because she didn't have the money to pay the church the tithe.
What is tithe? Like
tithe
your
is
monthly
biblical
membership?
So if you go to church, you basically they pass around
Yeah, the little basket,
an
yeah.
offering basket, but you don't have to donate.
Yeah.
But Catholic tithe,
Your tax write-off.
the tithe is in the Bible stated as 10% of your income. Wow. So
didn't know that.
throughout a year, you're
I remember
supposed
that
to
from a Kanye West lyric.
yeah, 10% of your income to the church, and if you don't, get the fuck out. You know, like
So you're telling
and
me-
it's different practices. Like Catholic tithe is way more important than like a Baptist tithe. Like each
someone who makes
sect of the religion kind of has their own rules, and it's pretty nuts.
Someone who makes $100,000 a year, 30% goes to taxes.
No, yeah, 30% goes to taxes, 10%
goes to the church.
And if you're Catholic, you also don't believe in birth control or anything, so you probably got like 9 fucking kids.
There's too many different variations of all this stuff, man. Yeah.
That's a lot of percents.
And we're also like way off topic here, too.
I love the idea of like someone like, who would it be, like the minister or something that addresses the pastor or whatever.
And those motherfuckers got gold. Everything.
He's just like, he's like doing his like thing in front of everybody at church on Sunday, and he's just like, all right, God bless you all. Except for you, John, you cokehead. You're banished from this church. Abort the fetus. Abort the fetus.
Oh, man.
See, like,
John,
that would be a good sketch.
They're not talking about me, by the way.
That would be a good sketch.
Well, where does that line come into play without getting too controversial here? Of
which part?
Like the standing of the 16-year-old having a child. Like, were they... Like with abortion and stuff, they're not
actually,
with abortion. So what is she supposed to do?
I'm going to tell the story. So literally, this person,
it was your baby,
hid their pregnancy. Hell no. I'm so.
I know
glad.
firsthand about this story.
I only do because like I went to the church. She was part of the youth group, and like you know, she was involved in the church. The church, everybody's very close. It is so fucking weird, but. She was in such a dysfunctional home that her pregnancy went completely unnoticed. Like her parents just thought that she had been gaining weight, and nobody asked any questions or anything like that because you know
that would stress me out so bad.
Oh yeah, she ended up delivering the child in her bathroom.
What?
Toilet baby?
In her bathroom. Wow. Yeah, and she called her friend and was like, I just gave birth, and her friend was at the home at the time because they were having a sleepover, and she was like, "You're pregnant?" Like, right. What? And then she had the baby and kept it, and obviously, you know, like I think the baby's definitely like 10 or 11 by now, but still, it was just one of those things where it's just like,
here it is.
Where does ideals and religion? And there are actually like studies about like how growing up in Christian households and stuff can like really fuck with a kid's head because they think that there's like a person that's watching them 24/7, judging them on their every move to the point where they feel guilty and like always feel shame and this and that. And I know a couple kids that grew up like in the church that I went to, and it really fucked them up. But yeah, so you know, where do you draw the line of like, I did something bad? I mean, teen pregnancy. It's not ideal, but like it's not like you're going to hell. But in the Christians, that's what they view. So it's like,
and you really think that?
Oh yeah, totally. And the scariest part is it's like, if we were to swerve our car into traffic, we know that we would get into a crash, and it'd be very dangerous. If I were to like set this cup over here. Now it's over here. You know what I mean? But with Christians, there's always this thing where it's like, everything's God planned. There's a miracle. There's this or that. Right. I can sweep it under the rug. I can do this. Jesus, take the wheel. Like I'm pregnant right now, but I'm not going to pay attention to that at all, and we'll just kind of see what happens. Like maybe God.
So
will,
there's just
I
like
swerved my car into traffic because Jesus told me
but
so.
You know what I'm saying is like we have a very A to B cause and effect relationship where like. This person had to have known, like, eventually I'm going to have this baby and everybody's going to find out. But because of the amount of shame and the fear that I have of, like, confronting not only my parents, because this should be a family thing, between a mother, a father, and their child, and then the prospects of a child on the way, where, like, a family would come together and build this relationship about supporting this baby if they decide to keep it or if she does because it's her decision. What is the church going to think? And that is what that's what we're just going to let rule.
I mean, like, and I totally understand that. I feel like that gets into the other thing. Like I'm drawing this comparison to like the Pam sex tape thing where it's just like, there's expectations and there's shame and there's somebody's going to know something about me they don't want me to know. And it's just like, I think about those situations and I'm just like, just like why wouldn't you just be like, fuck, like just break out? Like you can't, like your mind is just like so locked into something, you're just like not really living in like reality at that point, right? You know?
And yeah, totally. And it's like almost like not necessarily a manic state, but it's definitely a state of like uncertainty and constant questioning and like not understanding exactly what's going to happen.
Think about this though, with like bringing it back to like the very beginning of this podcast, with celebrities and like A-listers who always have that microscope on them. It's the same sort of thing as like that child always thinking that there's someone watching you, that like your every move that you're gonna sin, you know? Like the public is like God in a sense for these. I mean, that's a very weird term to put
that
it,
makes
but
a lot
like
of sense.
like you fuck up as a celebrity, they're gonna shine down on you, and you're gonna get fucking
slap Chris
canceled.
Rock at the Oscars.
Exactly.
Now listen, here's one thing that I do really love about things like that, and why I think the Will Smith slapping Chris Rock thing is so funny to me, because it's like the same thing with like Nick Cage's acting style. It's just like it feels like it's like breaking the simulation, kind of. You know what I mean? I don't really think we're living in a simulation, honestly, but just like that idea of like, you're under the microscope, you're in these confines, there's people watching you, there's shame, there's like, do what you're expected to do. And then Will Smith is like, fuck that, I'm gonna slap this guy at the Oscars, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's not right, but it does feel like, whoa, like somebody did something totally not what people would do. Like it just feels like, oh, it feels so freeing. It feels like, it's like, oh wow, that's crazy, you know?
And that's oh fuck, it was just right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, and that's what Jim Carrey was talking about when he was like, Hollywood's spineless, because what do you do in a situation like that? Like,
Chris Rock handled it pretty well.
Chris Rock,
he's a pro.
Also, like, I don't know if you guys have ever been hit in the face or like slapped or anything like that. I have, like, just playfully with my friends and stuff like that. And like one time when I was younger, like I got knocked off a sled by somebody who like hit me when I was like doing a bunch of shit. That shit will set your jaw like a few inches to the left or to the right. And it hurts really bad. And you could see at the beginning of Chris Rock's speech, his jaw was aligned. And then after he gets slapped by Will, like you can literally see like his top lip and his bottom lip don't line up. So his jaw was set like the same way a chiropractor will set your back. Like it was moved. And like he had to have been feeling a lot of pain. And just being like, and just like shock in that pit in your stomach and that ball in your throat. And like everybody's
still
looking at you.
be able to compose.
And not even that, like, I think the response that he had that was like, dude, really? Like, that's so authentic.
Yeah,
and it's just like, okay, cool, Will Smith, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm going to attack you, or I'm going to sue you? Like, what?
That would
like,
have been a
what
whole
can
debacle.
exactly like what can you do if somebody does that?
Well, he handled it like a pro, you know. I mean, someone in everyday scenario would also explode and go attack him, or just be so like, all right, and just like leave or something.
And there's so much money tied up, like, if I do this, it's going to hurt my career, or I'm going to ruin this relationship with this producer, or I'm going to ruin my upcoming tour. Like, there's so much at stake. Like, what can you do besides? I don't want to say
that's
take
the mental effect of all those bigger celebrities and their schedules and their tours and their like.
Fame sounds fucking terrible.
So much riding on it that like you got to be just tiptoeing around.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think. Again, I said this earlier. I don't think what Will Smith did was right.
Yeah,
but it is just like
never really.
It's not the good. Yeah, it's not. That was just a bad look in general. But yeah, I think about all those pressures of just like the things that you don't think about that you're like facing. I hate that feeling of like getting caught in my own head about like expectations or ideas that like things around me that like might not even be real at all. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But it's just like feeling like breaking through that, you know what I mean? You know, I feel like that is what I like to do, like with my videos, because I feel like, or like acting in general, like I love being able to feel like I'm breaking out of reality and doing something totally bizarre that you just never be able to do in just regular life. It's just, I find that it just feels so freeing. It's like I'm releasing myself of like all this, like the confines of everything. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you find I was just gonna say that's like it's kind of the fuck what everybody thinks and just like put content out there mentality, because like just put it out there, put what you're working on out there and see what sticks. If it feels good to you, then do it, obviously. So like,
yeah.
Do you find yourself using any other outlet or vessel other than acting to do that? Like, have you found a different freeing activity?
I don't think so,
Weird
honestly.
ponder.
scratches, yeah.
The gears
I mean, like I have
turning.
other like hobbies and stuff like that, but I don't think any of them really like give me the same sort of like feeling or like release that I get from doing stuff like that. Really, you know.
Are you still sewing?
I'm still sewing. I mean, it's intermittent, really. I kind of go through my seasons of like putting stuff together. I like went through a big marathon of like putting stuff together because I make my like family a lot of like gifts for Christmas and stuff
Cool
like
shit.
that. So I just like do a lot of like sewing around holidays and birthdays and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I just make people stuff because
That's
it's like,
cool.
yeah, because I never know what to get anybody. So I'll just-
Seasonal sower.
It's hard to buy
Yeah.
gifts for certain people sometimes.
Yeah, but sewing is great. I mean, I love it. It's so relaxing for me. And I love, the idle hands thing. Like I like just being able to like do something
stuff.
very physical in the real world. It feels good to like make something out of fabric is cool. Like it just is like, wow.
It's the same thing with like painting for me.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things
I'm
like
sure.
that.
Are you on like a sewing machine, or you're not knitting?
I'm not knitting. No, yeah, I got a
Sewing,
sewing
like,
machine.
nice.
Yeah.
That's how I made the fanny packs.
Oh,
The world's largest.
Yeah,
fanny
yeah.
pack.
I made
yeah.
a fabric fanny pack. And I've been making pillows and shirts and jackets and
That's what's up.
whatever.
Reusing old T-shirts,
You need to
making
Reusing
pillows
those-
and
I
stuff.
sewed this D onto this
Oh,
sweatshirt.
look at that! Hell
Yeah.
yeah!
That was
That's
just a little
cool.
random thing
Little
that I
custom.
did. I like
And
to.
I liked it. It looked like a designer sweatshirt when you walked in here.
Yeah, I
was
like.
Did you make the D? Like, did you cut that out and like?
Yeah,
put
I
it
like.
together?
I'll go thrifting.
Yeah.
And I'll find plain things, and then
Mhm.
I'll find graphic tees, and I'll cut them up and put them on shirts and stuff like that.
There's my buddy, both of my buddies, Sam and PJ. They run a shop out of, I would call it a shop, but they run a clothing company out of Detroit called Dos Jefes, and they do that same sort of thing where they recycle or like upcycle clothing and like reupholster it into these like really cool pieces. I'll have to show you actually.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
Yes, they got Instagram. Like, send me their Instagram or something like that. Yeah, like I like doing this thing where I like find things like thematic things, and I like kind of like create my own graphic tees out of them.
Yeah.
Like I found like this black shirt and like a bunch of different like symbols, like a guy like doing this, like a little stick figure guy doing this,
Yeah.
and then like a Wi-Fi symbol. And I literally like made this shirt where it's like it shows a Wi-Fi symbol and a guy like jumping off of it, and then underneath it just says Wi-Fi stunts. Like I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna put this together, and I made it's like a graphic tee, like it could be like a
Yeah.
graphic tee or whatever.
Here's Dos Jefes. They do
Oh,
some
this
pretty
is
cool
fun.
work.
Oh yeah, I love this type of shit. Oh, this is fuego.
Yeah,
That
like
is
the
fire.
old like quilt and stuff.
Yes,
they do a really
yes.
good job on like.
Wow, that's super cool.
They sell out like almost every drop.
Yeah,
too.
these
Like,
look
they're
awesome.
killing it. Props to them.
Yeah, mine don't look nearly this cool.
So there's
This is sick.
something interesting that I ran into recently. I've gone to 2 shows. There's this guy that I met. His name's Larry. He goes by the stage name The Third Son.
Yeah.
And he's this really cool black dude. Plays guitar, really jivey R&B. He reminds me a lot of Kai 5 just because of the way that he loops stuff. But I've been developing a relationship with these guys, and like they're friends. It's just like outside friend group. And he's been having these shows at the Pig recently, but it really adheres to the younger crowd because like he just graduated from Eastern, and a lot of it's like Nadim and all those like musical artists. But what I noticed is I was definitely like one of the oldest guys there besides Adam Wilkinson every time we're there. And I'm just looking around and I noticed fashion trends of today. And grunge is back. Like,
Right,
I don't know
yeah.
if Batman did it with Nirvana in the something in the way, or if because it seems like they were ahead, like they're already doing it. But like, like an outfit like this, but with like baggy jeans, like rolled up bottoms, all white chucks, a plaid shirt tied around your waist, a huge oversized white tee, and like the haircuts. And it's the same thing with the women's fashion. Like I've noticed that like plaid and grunge and like all that stuff from like Nirvana, like 80s 90s style is completely back.
Coming back around again.
Yeah, but it's all like really clean. Like a lot of the grunge back in the day, it was like smelly, had holes in it and stuff like that. But this is, like,
Unintentionally, just really dirty people.
yeah, right. Just unintentionally really dirty people. But this is like a new aesthetic, and I totally sound like a boomer, I bet. But I was just like,
You
wow.
really do, honestly.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, like this is crazy because then I started analyzing like the circle back of fashion and stuff.
yeah.
And like when I was growing up and kind of even just like recently, like 60s and 70s was another big thing, but the generation below me is going back to the 80s. And I'm like, what was, like, everybody usually has like their own fashion knit, like that their generation creates. And I was trying to think of like what ours was, and the only thing that I could come up with was like scene and emo. And I was like, well, at least that was like original, whereas like other generations are taking like 90s or 70s or 60s or grunge and other things like that and recycling it in a different way. But basically what I'm getting at is when you make clothes and when you do stuff like that, are you paying attention to any like upcoming trends, or does that stuff interest you at all, or is it just kind of stuff that you make that you think looks cool, or do you find inspiration from other things around that are happening? Like,
yeah, I don't really think too deep about it, honestly. I just like, I'm gonna make a pillow, and then I find some fabric at Joann Fabrics. And I guess no, I don't really think about it at all. I just do like whatever I think like could be cool or makes sense. I try not to think about it too hard.
yeah.
I hear you on the that stuff and everything like that. I feel like I want to be my own fashion trend. I'm committing to wearing sweatpants everywhere.
Dude, I commit to the Drop.Creative uniform just about every single day.
I wear the
for the
Drop
past
Creative
4
hoodie
years.
almost every day too. I'm trying to do the thing now. My new fashion trend is going to be like, I'm going to wear like a nice shirt or something. Maybe I'll wear a plaid shirt, be a little grungy, sweatpants. Just with everything. I'm going to like I'm changing over my whole wardrobe to just be sweatpants and then whatever I wear up top. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Comfy, post-COVID comfy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to get comfy.
I'm done wearing regular pants. I'm over
I
it.
see you. You're in the sweatpants now.
I haven't washed these in weeks.
That's one of the reasons why I don't wear my drop
Stained and
hoodies
dirty,
a lot.
yeah.
Because I don't like washing my drop hoodies because I like to keep them clean, so I don't like wear them unless I'm on set and stuff.
Yeah.
I am the brand, You just walk around, you self
Yeah,
promo.
you gotta do it,
you self promo, I think
I promo you guys
that's
all the
part of
time.
it, but also I think these are just like really comfy hoodies, and I literally every single time I go out of the house, I pretty much throw one on.
Yeah, I think like
Both promotional and comfort.
I feel like the last like 6 or 7 times I've seen Garrett, I've been wearing my drop hoodie.
Hell yeah.
I think I just like unintentionally wear it like everywhere because it's my absolute favorite hoodie.
They're
And
high
quality.
quality.
I
That's
always
one of the
get
things
compliments on it all the time. People are always like, "This is sweet." Blah blah blah.
I've
I
gotten
love
a
the color. It's just the best hoodie ever, honestly.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we got to
man.
do
You
another
guys
run
gotta do
of
another. I'm coming.
the tan.
I'm gonna get another one.
The thing with the hoodies drops is that there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah, I'd believe that. I have no idea what it takes to do something like that.
Well, you gotta buy there's a lot of money goes into it too. You gotta
Yeah.
buy
Just
all the
because we
hoodies,
want
print
the
'em.
we want the specifics, so we have a wholesale account with this clothing supplier in Australia, and they don't do obviously printing on them as well. So like we have to order all the hoodies, get the hoodies, then find a printer, get the hoodies printed from them, and it's just like a multi-step
like a lot of
process
work.
to where it's.
And
There
then-
are easier steps to where they have those websites where like they're made to order type thing, but again, it's like I don't really want to print our stuff on like a Gildan t-shirt or something that's just gonna fall
Yeah,
apart.
your hoodies are really
Plus-
high quality.
Yeah, one of the things with the hoodies that we really pride ourselves in is it's through a non-slave labor company too. So it's not fast
Oh,
fashion.
good.
And like that also kind of explains they're not expensive, but that's why they're not $25 hoodies. You know what I mean? So it's like there's equity, people are getting paid, like it's
Smart.
It's
That's
not
good.
fast fashion.
Yeah.
And it also is just comes with the quality of the hoodie itself too, which is nice.
Yeah. No, it shows. You guys got to do another. You guys got to do another one. You guys got to do another round, man. People
Yeah.
want the hoodies. They're
They're
great.
fun.
Yeah, it's about to be summer now, so we might have to. I have a bunch of hats that
Yeah,
have not been,
well, we also
not been
wanted to-
embroidered yet that need to get pushed
Ooh,
out.
drop
but-
hat. I would wear the shit
And
out of that.
and
Yeah.
like drop fanny packs and stuff like that too.
There
It'd
we
be
go,
cool.
man. Hook it up. Get a nice if you could do like a cool leather fanny pack, Something
Well,
sick
with like
that.
a raised little bumpy
Yeah,
drop logo
yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
We've got
yeah.
our machine, and I think it'd be cool.
Oh, you got embroidery machine?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should help us out because there's
Ooh, I've never used one before. I would love to check it out though.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the file and everything. It's just a matter of we just have to get the loom for the smaller hat size to be able to do the hats, and then obviously sit there and crank out 50 hats.
but
And it's
That
just
would be
hard
fun.
getting them the hardest thing with the embroidery. We have it's like an EPS file or whatever of our drop logo that'll get it all nice and raised,
Yeah.
the polo logo or whatever, if you will, Nike. But the it's just getting them the placement is really hard to get them like exact each time, and then like it's just a consistency thing, like getting them to the T each one is like it's difficult and it takes some time when you're not working on like an industrial machine that just cranks them all out at the same time.
Yeah, and we're about quality, so we don't want to give people a product.
Yeah, just like
that's,
a shitty
sucks.
like off center.
The strings are like hanging out.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
exactly.
That.
No, yeah, you got to make sure it's good. That's super interesting. I've seen a lot of people using embroidery machines, and I'm always like, oh, I'd love to get my hands on one of those because
take a crack,
fun.
bro.
Yeah, I would love to.
It's pretty fun.
But yeah, we're approaching 2 hours.
We're past 2.
Oh, we're past 2 hours.
Yeah,
past 2.
Yeah, are you good? Are you're not going to be late or anything, are you?
Oh my
Time
god.
check?
Oh yeah, I do got to get out of here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything you want to plug, Ben?
Just my YouTube channel,
Bendy Arms.
Bendy Arms on YouTube. That's probably pretty much it. Get your drop hoodies coming soon. They're coming out again. They're coming out again.
But
Get them. They're good quality hoodies.
your YouTube, do you want to plug your Instagram or anything? Is it all,
Yeah,
it's all
Bendy
just
Arms
Bendy
is everything on
Yeah.
anything. If you want to follow me anywhere,
just got some bendy arms.
just Bendy Arms anywhere you want to find me. It's cool. I'm not really posting a whole lot anywhere else,
Yeah.
but YouTube is probably a big one.
Well, cool.
Sick.
That's it, everybody.
Thanks
Hit me
for
up.
coming
Hit me
on.
up. Cast me as somebody crazy.
Yeah,
in the
cast him
next
as something
thing.
crazy. Go check out his Instagram and look at his films.
Do
They're pretty
something.
top notch.
Do something. Thanks, bro.
Okay.
Thanks
guys.
for having me, guys.
Love you, Ben.
Peace.
Bye.